to receive, and Kenny, already the strategy is starting to take effect.
It sure is, Dick, but I think there's a few things that were set before the game got ready to start. And that is, these two teams are opposite in a lot of effects. Louisiana Tech, evidently Coach Maxie Lambright is one of those football coaches that say, hey, you have to win on offense because he's a wide-open offensive-minded coach. They throw the ball a lot, but as far as East Carolina is concerned, Coach Pat Dye seems to say, we win on defense. And East Carolina, consequently, is number 2 in the nation in total defense, second only to number 1 ranked Penn State. So we're going to see a lot of opposites, I think, today from this football game.
Well, your deep man going back, number 27, Zach Jones. Zach is the deep man back for the Bulldogs. East Carolina thinking they've got to stop them on the first drive with the freshman quarterback.
Dick, if East Carolina can get out and stop them on the first drive, I think it will rattle their freshman quarterback.
Taken by Jones from Davenport, comes out to the 10, picks up a good wedge, and is stacked up there by a host of parents led by Jeffrey Warren.
The East Carolina football fans might notice that the East Carolina team is donned with new jerseys today, equipped with television numbers.
Well, they went to Independence Bowl. They wanted to go the entire route. They got them some new outfits. Of course, East Carolina's first bowl trip under Pat Dye. The Bulldogs, Kenny, have been 10 in the last 11 years under Coach Lambright.
Oh, Coach, Dick, he came in 1967. He was an assistant at Southern Mississippi, and since that time, he's been really carrying this football team.
Free is wide to the left, and Barkley starts off by giving to the fullback, Jesse Clark.
Good that time for East Carolina's defensive line. What the East Carolina defensive line has to do this game is control the offensive line of Louisiana Tech. If they don't and give the quarterback time to sit back in the pocket, he might pick the East Carolina defense to death. That time, East Carolina controlled the defensive line.
D.T. Joyner made the hit, yard loss, 2nd and 11.
Dick, you know it's fun to be back to a bowl game, isn't it?
That's right. Johnny Giordano is out wide to the right. Barkley's first pass coming to the near side, nowhere near the intended receiver, Scooter Sproul.
Didn't look good at all for the freshman Barkley, Dick, but what happened was he slipped. He slipped coming out, and that took his timing off.
Number 24, Willie Holly, was over for East Carolina defending. The officials are from the Big 8. Referee is Vance Carlson. Umpire is Casper Percone. Head lineman is Tom Ellers. Line judge is Frank Gaines. And field judge is Jerry Kleinsmith. Back judge is Alabama Glass. And the clock operator is Chris Sedaris. Back in that I formation, Barkley fakes the handoff and goes over top of the intended receiver. And oh, is he mad at himself. Number 36 coming out of the backfield, the intended receiver, Scott Coates. And here it is in replay, Kenny. You see Barkley planning, and watch his feet.
Oh, he's back. He's back, and his receiver is going to be open on this, too, Dick. He comes up, he plans good, but his pass is just a little bit high, but the receiver got his hand on it, so really, he should have caught it.
Gerald Hall takes a punt at the 50, goes to the near side, looks for some running room, and finds it before being pushed out of bounds on the Bulldogs' 45-yard line. Knocked out there by Jones.
That means East Carolina is going to be in very, very good field position, a good place to start. The field position means so much because if you can get in the other team, if you can get in the opposition's team territory at the beginning of the game, you can keep them in the whole game.
East Carolina going to start now in Bulldog territory. Leander Green is the quarterback. Running backs are Collins, Hicks, and Sutton. Put Collins in motion. Washington is wide to the right and give it off right up the middle.
We've seen that quite a bit from Coach Pat Dye this year. They opened the game with just a simple running play right up the middle.
Theodore Sutton carrying, and Sam Harrell comes into the ball game now for East Carolina. You know, Coach Lambright surprised a lot of folks, Kenny, by starting with the I formation.
Yeah, Dick, you know, he does a lot of different things, and talking with the East Carolina coaches before the game, they expect to see a lot of different formations today.
Washington's wide to the right, out of the bone backfield. Put Harrell in motion this time to the left. Pitch back to Collins. Collins going to throw the ball deep, and it is incomplete.
Hey, Dick, talking about being wide open, that's a new one for us. We haven't seen that halfback option pass all year long from East Carolina.
That was one of the surprises, and we're told it would go early from Anthony Collins to Billy Ray Washington.
Oh, that is a big surprise.
Now Sam Harrell goes out. And Washington goes out. We get Gallaher in. And Gallaher coming out. You see number 78, Big Matt Mulholland, the right tackle. And Joe Gaudette now switches to the far side, left side, with Gallaher wide to the right. It's third down. Collins in motion. And wait a minute, it looks like Artis McCann was in there almost before the ball. Jimmy Blackshire also in there, and let's see, there's no flags, no nothing. It is, here you go. Watch the delay is on Leander Green, I think, calling a delay snap. And you see Blackshire jump right across, squeeze between there, and grab Green before he can even go.
Dick, either that was a mistake on the East Carolina part, or that was an intended call, which is a big difference, you know.
Allen back to punt now. And Rodney gets off a boomer that's going all the way in and out of the end zone. The Bulldogs will take over on the 20.
Dick, there was a lot of movement on the part of East Carolina on that last play, and they were moving either because they were trying to get a jump off sides and get 5 yards as a result of a penalty, or the East Carolina football team was really trying to get set up because they had a mistake going in there with their call.
So the Bulldogs take it over. Neither team been able to create any offense, and both of them looking for new looks. Barkley still at quarterback. Got a man wide right and wide left. Barkley looking, flips back now. Over chasing out of bounds and getting the initial hit, Mike Brewington.
East Carolina called their defense the swarm this year, and they really swarmed over the running back that time.
George Yates was the man carrying the football. Give Brewington the credit for the tackle. Big number 96, 6'4", 230, a junior. And you can see the East Carolina coaching staff on the far side there, Kenny. They're a little concerned. They had hoped to get a couple of first downs on that first drive to establish something.
They're trying to figure out what's going on. It's early yet. Both teams are really filling each other out and see what they're doing new and see what they're doing that they had been doing all year long.
Giordino comes wide to the right. Yates goes wide to the left. Scooter Sproul goes deep, and forget it. It is so far over Sproul's head, it is unreal. Charlie Carter back with him step for step. And the talk was that Charlie Carter would be the one that try to throw on.
Dick, it's amazing. I was just getting ready to say the same thing. Charlie has been playing off the ball a lot this year, and Sproul has so much speed, they think that they can beat him over on that side. And evidently, they've gone to him several times already today.
Scott Coates out of the ball game, and we have George Pree back in. Pree is 5'6", 160, a senior. Barkley dropping straight back now, looking for somewhere to go. Finds no hands at all. He tried to hit his running back, Yates.
They had it set up, and it was there.
It was there and just incomplete. So it's going to be 4th down at 11. So they've lost, in 2 series of downs, they've lost 2 yards.
That means Gerald Hall is going to get his hands on the ball once again, too, Dick, and Gerald can return those punts.
Jeff Dozier back to punt, and he gets one upstairs. Hall is not known for the fair catch, takes it, and runs right into a mess of folks, led by Lottinger, Jones, and Ashton. And they get him down at the 45. East Carolina's going to take off in just about the same field position.
They know a little bit more this time, Dick. When you get over that first play series, you get the jitters out. East Carolina should have the jitters out now. It should be ready to go.
Green still at quarterback. Billy Ray Washington's coming wide to the right. Second at 5'2", with Artis McCann, a young man that's unreal in there at nose guard. And Leander Green going to be dropped for a loss. And he is dropped by number 86, Johnny Robinson, 6'2", 255, a highly touted sophomore.
Dick, Johnny is a great football player. The coaches say he's one of the best athletes here at Louisiana Tech.
Here you go. You can see that Sutton and Green got together. And then you just go right on, and Robinson just rides him to the ground. Second down now at about 14.
Dick, Johnny Robertson won the discus throwing championship for the Southlands Conference last year in track and field.
East Carolina's got 2 men split wide to the left, got Gallaher wide to the right. Washington is flags all over the place, and East Carolina's going to be called for offsides, illegal motion.
Dick, another thing you can notice, too, and a lot of football teams play East Carolina this way. They have a lot of their defensive backs up on the line. They're not giving very much respect to East Carolina's pass right now. A lot of men are up on the line of scrimmage.
Well, and you take a bowl game, and coaches add that new wrinkle. It takes a while to really get the bowl game jitters out of your system, get the new wrinkles settled down,
and start
then
playing
go from
football.
there.
Yes, it does.
So we've got Billy Ray Washington now. Is going to be wide to the right. And we're having a little trouble with the clock, and we'll get that squared away. The official going over now talking to the operators and get it all squared away. And it's time out on the field, and with the score, East Carolina nothing, Louisiana Tech nothing. Let's pause for this.
Hit! I wouldn't trade the Southern Life for anything.
Give me the Southern Life every time.
More and more people are turning to the Southern Life Insurance Company to protect their families' futures and to ensure the good life they have.
It's the Southern Life for us.
When you think life, think Southern.
It's easy to cheer for the world champion Dallas Cowboys because they're winners. But it's easier to make a deal at Tony Hammock Ford Mercury, where you're always a winner, too.
Especially right now during Tony Hammock's $500,000 inventory reduction sale. $500,000 worth of new cars and trucks must be sold, will be sold by January. That means you'll get the low price you've waited for, and now until Christmas, you'll get a free bicycle with the purchase of any new car or truck at Tony Hammock Ford Mercury in Zebulon.
Second down and 19 now that we're back in. No score. Both teams are still making those mistakes, and I think the bowl jitters has got to both clubs.
Yes, Dick, but East Carolina has had more of an opportunity to really put some points on the board in this early stage of the game. The Pirates have gotten the ball twice on the 45-yard line and not their own on the Louisiana Tech 45-yard line. And if they're going to get something going, they need to get the ball on in now when they got the ball in good field position.
Well, they started off, they've lost 9 on this series. So, you know, so far nothing's happened from either club. East Carolina going to try some new things today. Louisiana Tech, of course, starting with their freshman quarterback.
Which is a big difference.
A big, big difference. And we might mention that Coach Lambright and Coach Pat Diakenny were a big, big help in this broadcast.
Yeah, Dick, they did everything possible that they could do to inform us on their players and let us know what's going on so that we can do the best job possible.
Okay, the officials are telling the players now and the coaches that the official time will be kept on the field for the rest of the first quarter. And we hope it's just the rest of the first quarter. Across the way there, Kenny, I'm surprised and pleased at the number of supporters that made the trip from North Carolina.
When we were getting off the airplane yesterday at the airport, surprise, surprise, a lot of East Carolina fans were getting off the airplane at the same time, Dick. The cheerleaders were out at the airport, and they were doing their cheers, and it was just a great occasion.
It's going to be second and 19. Billy Ray Washington wide to the right. Quick pitch to the house. And Eddie Hicks runs into Johnny Robinson.
Dick, I think the football fans are going to hear that name, Johnny Robinson, quite a bit this afternoon.
6'2", 255, a sophomore, and a definite pro prospect. So East Carolina is able to pick up only 2 yards, third down and 17. Now Gallaher goes wide left, Washington comes wide right, and Anthony Collins comes wide right.
A spread set for East Carolina. 2 wide receivers in the game right now.
Green rolling straight back, looking, and Robinson putting the pressure on. Pass intended for Eddie Hicks, incomplete.
Dick, Louisiana Tech did a great job of covering that spread set that time. They must be a very, very good coach football team to be able to adjust like they did to that spread set of East Carolina.
Well, their fans appreciate it. They're giving them a standing ovation. Going back for Tech to receive this. Scooter Sproul going back to receive Rodney Allen's punt. Rodney will strike at about the 38, and he gets off a high one that's sailing, and Sproul is going to call for the fair catch, and does, at about the 14-yard lines where the referee's going to spot it. So the Bulldogs once again start inside their own 15.
They sure do, Dick. They've got their backs to the wall once again. Not very good field position for the young quarterback, but Dick, on the East Carolina sideline, I can hear Coach Pat Dye right now telling his defense to make something happen, and he says that quite often.
Okay, we got first down and 10 to go. Barkley on a misdirection play hands it off to his running back, Jesse Clark. And Clark gets really stacked up by the left side of that defensive line, getting off of the bottom of the stack. Vance Tingler, number 73, 6'3", 225 senior.
Dick, you know, Eric Barkley, their quarterback, is a home fella. And believe it or not, when I say home, I really mean home. We can look out the windows of the press box right now and see his high school. His high school is Fair Park High, and it is right next door.
Barkley now looks for some running room, and he hands off to his running back. Once again, Kenny, and I can see the strategy changing on the Bulldogs.
Dick, you've got to establish your ground game before your passing game will go. And Coach Lambright, he knows that, and I think that's what he's trying to do right now.
Coach Pat Dye walking the sideline. Zach Valentine and Cliff Williams in on that tackle. And Coach Pat Dye walking the sidelines on the far side, trying to get a little something started. Barkley wide pitches, rolls, fumble at the play, and I believe Cliff Williams has come up with the football.
Dick, I just finished saying Coach Pat Dye would tell his defensive players, you got to make something happen. You got to make something happen, and that's what they just did.
Okay, let's take a look at that again. Cliff Williams, and there's the fumble, the low pitch from the quarterback, and Cliff Williams dives right in on top of it.
Bounces right on it.
Kenny at 6'1", 210. Cliff can cover that football.
He sure can, Dick.
East Carolina takes over on the 16-yard line.
Dick, Cliff had been a nose guard, but East Carolina moved him out to the defensive end position this year, and he says he loves it out there.
Green at quarterback. Washington is wide to the left. Long count. Give it off to Theodore Sutton. The hole opens up. Theodore lowers his head and goes down to about the referee's going to spot it on the 3.
Good run. Good run by Theodore Sutton up the middle that time.
Take a look.
Let's take a look at what happened and see if we can evaluate what went on. Theodore got the ball. Good block in the middle. That's what made the play go. He got a good block in the middle by, looked like, Matt Mulholland. And Theodore, with his speed, he runs about a 4.6 40. He just sticks it up in there real good. Number 77, Mitchell Smith, a big offensive tackle, and he's looking to give Theodore a little help.
Joe Cadet leading the play, but Matt Mulholland threw the key block right in the center of the line. East Carolina's got it now, first and goal at the 4. Leander Green on a keeper, and he gets maybe a half a yard.
I think it gets a little tough down there for a little quarterback, Leander. He's only about 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds, and it's tough down there for him.
Jimmy Blackshire and Gene Donier made the stop for the Bulldogs.
Jimmy Blackshire has done a great job for Louisiana Tech all year long. He's a tough inside man.
Gene Donier out of the ball game. Limping. It's going to be second and goal. Washington's wide to the left. Quick pitch to AC, Anthony Collins, and he's in for the touchdown.
East Carolina's in, Dick. They got good field positions. They took advantage of it this time around.
Let's take a look, and Kenny, here's the scoring play.
Well, Dick, is just a power play. We say, here you go, Anthony. You've got the ball. You take it in. And he's getting good blocking all the way around. He gets hit around the 3-yard line, and just pure sheer power takes him over the line.
The key block there thrown by Eddie Hicks. Leander Green is going to hold, and Bill Lamb is going to try the extra point. The Bulldogs charge in the spot. The kick, it's up, and it is good. And with time out on the field, and the score, East Carolina 7, Louisiana Tech nothing.
You're the one. The 1979 Ronald McDonald Coloring Calendar has 12 months of money-saving coupons for your favorite McDonald's food. I like that. And 12 months of McDonald's mysteries to solve and color.
I like that.
You get a year full of savings and fun in the 1979 Ronald McDonald Coloring Calendar.
Each calendar is only 50 cents plus tax with 12 months of food coupons worth over $5. Available at participating McDonald's while supplies last.
If you're worried about your fuel bills, then you should consider the DAR 4 by Harrington. The DAR 4 is an energy-efficient wood stove and has been thoroughly tested and has many features to help ensure safe, efficient heat for your home. The Dare 4 has 20 vent openings that allow only clean air to pass into your home. Also, the Dare 4 has an attractive appearance and is backed by a company that has been in business for over 50 years. For further information, call Harrington Manufacturing Company or see a Dare dealer.
On Anthony Collins in from about 3.5 yards out.
Dick, you know this East Carolina team had to travel over 1,000 miles to get down here to Shreveport to play this Independence Bowl game. And Louisiana Tech only had to come about 65 miles from Ruston, Louisiana. But still, East Carolina's favorite to win this football game today by 6 points.
Rodney Allen kicks it deep. Zach Jones takes it right on the goal line. Gets his wedge, but he is still going to be dropped at about the 22-yard line. A couple of missed tackles there.
What an effort that time by him, Dick. He was really trapped. He was really trapped back around the 15-yard line, and sheer effort took him another 7 yards up to around the 16.
John Hello in on the tackle, a freshman nose guard, Kenny, that folks are going to hear a lot about.
He has been good, especially with East Carolina's nose man leaving this year because he is a senior. He's going to help East Carolina a lot. Joe Hello.
John Hello stays in at nose guard. Barkley going to roll out and look, throws, tries to hit his man, hits Yates on a swing pattern, fumbled, and East Carolina has recovered.
Big break for East Carolina once again, Dick.
And they were going to pick on Charlie Carter, got it back. Let's take a look, Kenny, and tell the folks exactly what happened.
Well, it was a very good pass. He passed over the defensive end's head that time, and defensive end came up and got a hit on the ball. When he went around to make his tackle, he hit the ball, and it bounced right back up into the hands of Gerald Hall.
Gerald Hall instead of Charlie Carter. So East Carolina gets another big break.
Number 88 was that defensive end, Fred Chavis.
When Chavis reached around him, he got him. Leander Green on a quarterback keeper, and Leander goes down about the 19-yard line.
I think he got about 6 yards that time, and when you can get 6 yards, it's good enough.
Good block on the play, and tackle made by 27, Zach Jones for the Bulldogs. And you can see, folks, would like to remind you not to get excited. You see the red prominent on the players' uniforms. That's the dye on the field. Nobody is bleeding that much. Gallaher's wide to the right for the Pirates. Young man has had a super year. Give it off to Eddie Hicks. And the Hulse is dropped by Johnny Robinson, but not before Hicks picks up the first down.
The last game of the year this year, Eddie tried to play Dick, but he couldn't. He had a bad thigh injury. And with the time off that they had getting ready for the bowl game, Eddie had time to get healthy, as are most of East Carolina's players today, and they're playing pretty good football right now.
Eddie Hicks got a double incentive. There's about 20 pro scouts here watching this football game.
Dick, Louisiana Tech, their defensive football team is a good defensive team, but they've been in a bad situation. Their offensive team is turning the ball over.
Billy Way Washington is wide to the left. Leander Green gives it off to Anthony Collins, and he can't go anywhere. He's going to lose a couple.
Good pursuit that time by LeVon James on Louisiana Tech's defense.
The cornerback James really stayed in there, and Bill Snyder, the strong safety, came up and helped him out, and you can see that nobody was fooled by that.
Nobody at all.
Snyder plays right off of the block, and you got to get that man off his feet. Snyder stayed with him and rode him right out of bounds with some help from James.
Sure did. Good defensive play.
2nd and 12. Send Gallaher wide to the left. Out of the bone, Green fakes, gives to Hicks. Hicks trapped on the far side, gets away and almost breaks it, but is dropped at the line of scrimmage.
That's amazing, Dick. Eddie almost broke that play, but really, he should have been trapped a long ways back.
I tell you, Bill Snyder came up and played it off perfect. Hicks goes out of the ball game, and Sam Harrell comes in. Gallaher's out, Washington's in. They're bringing in the plays from the sideline. Washington will go wide to the right. East Carolina's got it on the 14-yard line, and it's 3rd down and 12. Running out of the straight bone. Green fakes one up the middle. Green is rushed, heavily pursued, throws in the end zone over the head of intended receiver. Oh, man, Joe Gadet, the tight end, was down there, and they just couldn't get to it. Joe's not 6'9".
Dick, I really do believe that Leander Green was throwing the football away in that situation, and that's what he should do. He should throw the football away and try to settle for 3 points.
Bill Lamb comes in now. And we've got the leg of Lamb. East Carolina calls a timeout. It's timeout on the field with the score East Carolina 7, Louisiana Tech nothing.
Watch your savings funds grow with First Citizens Bank 7 3/4% savings bonds. The bonds have a time requirement of 8 years and are available in amounts of $1,000 or more. Interest is compounded annually and payable quarterly, annually, or at maturity. Regulations require a substantial penalty for early withdrawal. Act now. Earn the highest savings rate in banking. Move your funds to First Citizens, the can-do bank.
Lucy's show is for the younger audience.
For 4 grown people.
Sorry, Lucy, you tell them.
No, I don't want to.
Well, the comedy is quite sophisticated. And the language is foreign.
Ain't I the cat's pajamas? You're the snake's hip.
In fact, it has subtitles.
How to rate your marriage, or is your spouse a louse?
Bill Lamb just attempted a 31-yard field goal that was no good. Wide to the right. Wide to the right. Most of the folks that you just got to look at on your screen there traveled from Greenville down to say hello to the great state of Louisiana and Shreveport.
Dick, you know, I've always thought that you pronounce Louisiana, Louisiana. But when I got down here in Shreveport, everybody says Louisiana.
Yeah. So we got Barkley in at quarterback now. Barkley is still the man, and he pitches to his big running back, George Yates, and Yates tries the right side. And didn't get but maybe a yard or two. We're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is your action sports station, WRAL-TV, Channel 5, Raleigh.
Gerald Hall runs him out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Picks up 7.
Dick, although Louisiana Tech is going with Eric Barkley right now, again, if the team don't move, Keith Thibodeau might come into the game. He's number 16. Last year, he was the Southlands Conference Player of the Year.
Barkley pitches to Yates once again, and ooh, a missed tackle back there. Zach Valentine had him for a loss and let him get away from him. But then you get coming up to put the final touches on him, Wayne Perry, number 27, 6 foot 185, a sophomore. And that young man's got great potential.
He sure does. Hopefully he'll step in for Gerald Hall next year or somewhere in that defensive backfield position.
George Pree, the flanker, back into the ball game, brings the play in to Eric Barkley. 3rd down and 2.
3rd and short yardage, Dick. If East Carolina can stand up pretty good now, they'll have the ball in pretty good field position once again.
Barkley rushing, but he's going to get nowhere. John Hallow, the young freshman we were talking about, with some help from Noah Clark, is dropped for a loss.
What a play by John Hallow that time.
John Hallow, Noah Clark, and Nate Woodfall dropped him for that loss. Now the Bulldogs are going to have to give it up. The punt, oh, short, off the side of his foot, going to go out of bounds, and the officials marking it the East Carolina 48-yard line. Gerald Hall says it bounced back in. Let me run it back.
East Carolina has had good position all day long, Dick. I think we got a flag on the field also.
Flag down on the 28-yard line. The officials from the Big 8 Conference are talking over the flag situation. And, of course, East Carolina is very interested in it.
The defensive football team is on the field for East Carolina still. Evidently, it's against East Carolina.
And they're marking it off up to the 42-yard line of Tech. And blocking below the knee.
And you can't do that.
Nope. And the man in the striped shirt caught him, so they walk off 15. East Carolina's defensive unit back out on the field now, and this is Tech's first down.
And Dick, really, Louisiana Tech did not earn that first down that time. East Carolina threw a penalty, gave it to them.
Eric Barkley at quarterback. They got men wide right and wide left, and Barkley's really getting the pressure and fakes a throw and is ridden down from behind.
Barkley did a good job that time of not getting trapped behind the line of scrimmage, Dick. He pulled it down, he ran with it.
Zach Valentine pulls him down from out of behind, out of bounds on the far side. Noah Clark just about had him for about an 8 or 9 yard loss.
Dick, when you run the quarterback out of the pocket, as East Carolina did with Barkley that time, and he has to pull the ball down and run with it, that means your defensive secondary is doing a pretty good job, and they're holding the opposition's wide receivers.
Darren Washington comes out of the ball game. The two speed merchants are in now, George Pree and Johnny Giordano. And Barkley is looking and throwing and completing. His first completion to Scooter Sproul.
That's right.
And it's a first down in Pirate territory. Here's the instant replay. And you see Sproul get in there, and he just hits right in the middle of that zone.
He got in the middle of the seam. Got in the seam that time.
So 1st and 10, and there at the East Carolina 43-yard line.
The exciting thing about a football team like Louisiana is they can score any time Louisiana Tech can.
Sproul wide to the left, Giordano right to the right. Barkley looking deep, throwing deep for Sproul, and the battle for it, and incomplete. The referee is ruling incomplete.
He had the football for a split second. And then missed it.
We'll show him exactly what happened on that play. We've got the replay, and you can see Barkley cutting it loose deep, and he throws a hard football. And you see Willie Holly, and you'll catch him in just a minute. You'll see Sproul and Holly go up together. Sproul takes it away from him, but is still juggling the football, and when he hits the ground, it bounces away, and the official right on top of it.
He never had total possession of the football. That's why the referee ruled it incomplete.
Sproul again to the left. Giordano in motion going to the right. Pree is in the corner there, and they throw it low to the near side to Pree. Incomplete. Defending Gerald Hall. And Gerald Hall defending against Pree on that account. So it's going to be 3rd down and 10. And Kenny, the pass was good to Barkley, so he decided to go to it 2 more times, and now he finds himself 3rd and long.
The quarterback Barkley did a good job at throwing that football that time, Dick. When you throw that out cut, as that pattern that the wide receiver ran that time is called, you got to throw it low and you got to throw it away, because if you don't, the defensive back can step in and pick it off.
Scott Coates is in the ball game replacing Pree. Barkley goes back looking, and Barkley is going to be sacked by Zach, and I believe he coughed the football up. He did. It's East Carolina's ball.
Roughing McNeil, number 44 for East Carolina, is pretty happy, jumping all
Vance
up.
Tingler recovered the fumble. Zach Valentine calls the fumble. Zach hit him from behind, got his, and you can see Zach Valentine, number 89, slip up in there and knock that ball out. And D.T. Joyner, and then Vance Tingler sees the football and says, well, nobody's got this thing right now, so I think I will.
Cliff Williams, number 90, they're pointing away.
Cliff is officiating.
He sure is.
So East Carolina stops the Bulldog drive and drops them back and takes over in Bulldog territory. 1st and 10 for East Carolina. They lead 7-0. Collins in motion, going to the left. Billy Ray Washington is wide to the right. Give it off to Theodore Sutton on a quick opener.
Dick, East Carolina's playing a lot of football players right now. On the offensive line, I see number 76, Tootie Robbins. Tootie is from Burt T. He's a big kid. Dick, Tootie is about 6'5", and he weighs in about 270.
And you see Theodore Sutton meet up with Johnny Robinson once again.
That's true. A lot from Johnny Robertson today. 255 and a good football player.
Picks up 2, 2nd and 8. Make it 2nd down. Gallaher's wide to the right now. Man in motion is Collins going to the far side. Green looking. Oh, he is going to be smothered. Johnny Robinson and Artis McCann. I tell you,
Good defensive effort. Leander tried to take it to the other side. That time he got his jersey torn off.
Take a look at Artis McCann. You hear about the speed of Artis McCann. And we're going to show you the speed of Artis McCann getting in on that. We thought we'd have time, but Steve Greer comes in now and takes over at quarterback. Washington is wide to the right. It's 3rd down and 15 for the Pirates. Collins in motion. Steve Greer looking. Throws a around to Billy Ray Washington. And Billy Ray's got running room, and he is still looking. And would you believe runs into one of his own players to knock himself down.
That's a great play by East Carolina that time. Good play selection. I think we might be able to get a look at this one again. We'll try to see what happens.
Look at this block on the far side right there. Billy Ray and Tootie collide. 1st and 10 for the Pirates on the Bulldogs' 28-yard line. Gallaher wide to the right. Green back in at quarterback. Straight up the middle to Theodore Sutton. Sutton runs over a couple and breaks a tackle and is down to the 11.
Dick, that was up the middle that time, and the man up there for Louisiana Tech is Artis McCann. He's from Fairport High School right here in this area too.
Look at Zach Jones grab a hold of the ankles and pull him down. And Zach Jones, a young man we spent some time with talking to yesterday, a sure tackler. And you can see, Kenny, he goes for those feet. Zach Jones, a young man, 5'10", 179.
When you stop the wheels, the whole body has to stop.
Gallaher wide to the right. Green spinning, looking for something to happen, throws to Eddie Hicks outside, and Hicks gets nowhere.
Good one-on-one tackle by Zach Jones that time over on the sideline. Number 27 is Zach Jones.
Kenny, Coach Maxie Lambright calls this one of the most dedicated young players that he has. He's 5'10", 179, a junior.
He plays like he's a dedicated kind of football player, Dick, really going after it, pumped up, going, and really playing hard all the time.
One of those, I say, that will never mention an injury, that just tries to give it his all. Terry Gallaher wide to the right. Out of the straight bone. Green dropping back, looking for a receiver. Oh, throws it outside to Anthony Collins, and Collins is really stuck by Zach Jones, and Collins is shaken up.
Oh, Dick, that time Collins was really hit. He juggled the ball. He was hit. The ball bounced up in the air, and Terry Gallaher grabbed the football in the air. Terry Gallaher caught the football on the sidelines. It was a little bit inconspicuous, so I don't know if everybody could see it or not.
That's quite a play because it gives East Carolina 1st and 3rd down and about a yard.
That's a very unusual play, that play was.
I tell you what, Kenny, you got me. I didn't see Gallaher catch the football.
He did catch the football over on the sideline. The ball bounced up in the air when Anthony Collins got hit, and Terry Gallaher came over and alertly caught the football. Here he is. He's coming down.
We're isolated on Gallaher now.
We got an isolation here, Terry. The ball is popped up. Terry catches the ball, falls out of bounds on the 2-yard line. A great play. Good thinking by Terry Gallaher.
Tremendous hustle. Anthony Collins is still shaking up on the far side of the field. He's up on his own power now and walking off. And I tell you what, Kenny, the young man couldn't be in better hands with Rod Compton and Dr. Bowman, East Carolina sports medicine staff.
Dick, you know, this Tech football team, they played very, very good football in the beginning of the year. Towards the end of the year, the last game of the season, they got a lot of people hurt, and they're hoping that those injuries will not carry over to today.
3rd down and about 6 inches for a 1st down. About a yard and a half for a touchdown. Give it off to Eddie Hicks, and Hicks goes down. Let's see.
East Carolina can get a 1st down down here.
They can definitely get a 1st down. We're getting Robinson up off of the bottom. We're getting Blackshire off of the bottom. The officials have called a timeout for an official measurement. Eddie Hicks tried to stretch his long frame as much as possible, all 6'2" of him. He tried to stretch it out. 1st and goal.
1st and goal. Dick, Coach Maxie Lambright, he complains because it's hard to recruit down in this area. Right up Interstate 20, about 20 miles from here, is Grambling College. And Grambling gets a lot of players out of this area. So does the schools from the Southeastern Conference, and that's with Texas and all those schools. So does the Southwestern Conference, and so does the Southeastern Conference with Alabama and all those schools.
First and goal for the Pirates. Billy Ray Washington wide to the right. Sam Harrell in at running back now, replacing touchdown for Leander Green.
Leander battled over that time. He really got caught behind the line of scrimmage. Dick, and
lost his
battled
jersey, but went over for the touchdown.
Oh, Leander, he usually loses 3 or 4 jerseys a game.
So we've got Sam Harrell throwing that key block down there.
Here we go, Dick.
Here we go. You see him grab him by the jersey.
About on the 2-yard line.
Turns it up, and he broke out of Robinson's hands. He slips by McCann. He slips by Zach Jones, and somehow or another gets the football in the end zone.
Nothing but red shirts all around.
Bill Lamb in now to attempt the extra point. The spot, the snap, the kick, it's up, it's good. And Bill Lamb adds the 14th point. East Carolina goes up now 14-0. We have approximately 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Kenny, you got to go back to the dedication of Terry Gallaher on the pass to Anthony Collins.
Definitely a key play for East
talking to
Carolina.
Coach Dye and telling him about the clock.
Coach Dye always wants to know what's going on in every aspect of the football game.
So Gallaher takes a pass out of Collins' hands where Collins caught it, was hit immediately by Zach Jones, and Gallaher slipped in and caught it in the air and slid out of bounds.
The East Carolina faithfuls across the way screaming.
Holding up the sign over there, Pirates are #1. East Carolina leading 14-0. Zach Jones back in the end zone, ready to take this kickoff from Rodney Allen. Vern Davenport to kick off. Vern kicks it side-footed from Grifton. And is taken and dropped there by Ricky Johnson. Then Johnson gets some running room and gets it up to about the 18-yard line.
Not a bad return, Dick, considering that he fumbled the ball down around the 5-yard line.
Chuck Jackson made the stop for the Pirates. And we have a Bulldog player shaken up on the play now.
We can see his number and try to find out who he is. I hope he's all right and it's nothing real serious.
Kenny, has the play so far gone as, after talking with the two coaches and visiting with them, has gone as you expected?
Dick, one thing about this game, East Carolina has not played the game as conservative as they've been playing all year. They came out with a few trick plays, and East Carolina has really gotten a break so far during the game. They've gotten the ball in their territory, in Louisiana Tech's territory most of the game, and they've played the Louisiana Tech's offense has had to play the game with their backs up against the wall. But Louisiana Tech is an exciting football team. They throw the ball, and they can throw the ball well, so anything can happen.
You know, we might mention that's number 53 for the Bulldogs. We might mention that Chip Helton.
Chip Helton.
The young man shaken up on the play. We might mention that special guest today at the ball game, the Duke, John Wayne, and Charlie Pride of country music fame, General Omar Bradley, unable to attend due to the weather. He couldn't get his airplane in.
And it has been foggy. Yesterday when we came in, the weather was overcast, but not really raining, but you couldn't see very far because of the fog. And today the fog really didn't lift till around 10 o'clock.
Eric Barkley going back looking, throwing deep, got a receiver.
What a catch.
What a catch by Johnny Giordano.
A good catch, Dick. He had to slow down his momentum. He had to slow down his momentum, so the way he slowed down his momentum is just slide. Like he was sliding into first base, and he held his concentration, and he caught the football. Good concentration, a great play.
I tell you what, 36-yard line, 1st and 10.
Anything can happen with Tech.
Coach Maxie Lambright sending the plays in now by his receivers. 36 Scott Coates comes into the ball game, replacing Johnny Giordano, the man that just made the great catch. Giordano goes back into the game now. He's wide to the left. Coates goes wide to the right. And in motion, Barkley dropping straight back, looks, throws straight up the pipe, and almost intercepted.
James Freer.
James Freer, the young man, almost came up with the football.
James Freer over on the sideline, Dick. He was playing his man, played him very, very good that time, James Freer did. And he wasn't looking up. He was playing his man and didn't get the football, but possibly could have. A good play by him, though. Very good play.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the score East Carolina 14, Louisiana Tech nothing. We'll return with the second quarter action right after these messages.
At Pioneer, we don't build a high-fidelity receiver the way some of our competitors do. Instead of a pressboard bottom, our SX780 has a metal one that limits interference. It has power meters and a DC power supply for richer bass. It's things like this that have made Pioneer #1 among people who care about music. And isn't that why you buy high-fidelity components? Because you care about music?
Available at Southeastern Radio, 414 Hillsborough Street, Raleigh.
With the holiday season upon us, many people are using layaway plans to hold merchandise for gift giving. But what happens if you change your mind about the purchase? Are you entitled to a refund or an exchange? Before you use layaway, ask the merchant what his policy is on this. If you're having a problem with layaway, call for action. 11 to 1 weekdays. In Raleigh, 832-7578. In Durham, 688-9306.
Hey, have him, ladies and gentlemen, John Wayne, the Duke. Barkley looking for somebody to throw to, nothing to throw to. He was intending to go for George Pree. Incomplete.
Dick, how many times have I sat down on Sunday afternoon or gone to a movie and watched John Wayne?
You know, I was just thinking, got a chance to, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the legend, the Duke, John Wayne. When you're in a room with him, you feel like you're in a presence of greatness and you're almost scared to breathe. There he is. Oh, John Wayne. 70 years, super young, Kenny.
You know, he's just had a battle with illness and has come through it very strong.
3rd down and 10. 2 incomplete passes, and both intended for George Pree. Let's see what Barkley does now. He's got Pree wide to the right, getting a lot of pressure, and he is dropped. He is dropped by number 93, Noah Clark.
Noah Clark, when he was up being recruited by East Carolina, he told the fellows while he was being recruited, he said, don't worry, I'm coming to East Carolina. But a lot of schools were trying to get Noah Clark. He's a great football player.
Young man out of Robinsonville. Back now to punt. Getting it away, Gerald Hall.
He might have room.
Takes it, gets it at the 30. He's up to the 40, and that's as far as he can go.
Louisiana Tech shut it down very fast.
Tell you what, Kenny, I'm impressed with the Bulldogs' defense.
They
Coach
play good
Lambright,
football. They play
Coach
good football.
Lambright goes after it.
You know, Dick, he's been here, like I said, since '67, and they've been winning. They've played into both Division I and Division II, and then now they're in the Southlands Conference. Been in the Southlands Conference since about '63. He's won 95 games, only lost 35 and tied 2 in 12 years. What a record. That's true. 11 times, 11 out of the past 12 years. Coach Lambright has been in a bowl game.
He's taken them to postseason bowl action.
That's some record, Dick.
They're spotting the football, marking off the 15-yard penalty against East Carolina. That'll take it back to the 24. East Carolina penalized 15 yards, personal foul. 15 yards for a personal foul against the Pirates.
Dick, there really hasn't been any dominant force in this game so far. East Carolina has gotten several good breaks, and thus they lead the game 14-0. But no team, neither offensive team has really gotten the ball and sustained themselves. By that, I mean march all the way down the field and score.
Leander Green with Gallaher wide to the right, Washington wide to the left. And Steve Greer in at quarterback, and Greer hands off to Sutton. And let's see, there's a fumble on the play. And Kenny will try to show that again, but Artis McCann just about took the handoff.
Hey, he's tough, Dick. He's a small fella, only about 5'8", and about 205, 215 pounds in that area. But he's a good ball player. The hometown fans love it, too.
So the Tech Bulldogs get a break. They
sure
take
do.
it over, 1st and 10 at the 24.
We got a new number in at quarterback, too, Dick. Keith Thibodeau.
Thibodeau is in at quarterback.
1977 Southlands Conference Player of the Year.
And most valuable player in the Independence Bowl last year. Thibodeau throwing intended for George Pree, incomplete.
He got hit good that time by Tommy Summer, East Carolina's linebacker, and he's not getting up right now.
Keith Thibodeau shaking up on the play.
His first play from scrimmage in this game. He got hit real hard by Tommy Summer.
Let's see if we can get, we may have that one on slow motion. Thibodeau has just got the wind knocked out of him. He's talking with the trainers.
Hopefully he's just got the wind knocked out of him.
And you can see that
he's not very happy.
Thibodeau is not at all happy. It's his first play today. He was a little unhappy about being benched in this ball game for the freshman quarterback. And he gets in to get his big shot. And now Eric Barkley is returning to the ball game. Incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10.
Dick, I kind of wonder about the fact that he was holding his arm when he came out. Might have a little rib problem.
Barkley going back looking, throws to the man cutting under, Johnny Giordano, and throws behind him, incomplete.
He was open that time. He was open. Barkley just missed him. The pass pattern was there.
Back defending against it, Mike Brewington. Big Brew, 6'4", 230 junior, leading the Pirates in tackles this year. The Pirate cheerleaders, of course, made the trip down. And the folks across the way are starting to get a little excited. 3rd down and 10. Giordano's wide to the right. Pre's wide to the right. Barkley looking to the left. Throws complete. And hit out of bounds by Gerald Hall. And let's check and see who Darren Washington.
Good hit by Charlie Carter over the sideline that time, Dick. But he got a little shaken up on that play when he hit him, too.
You can see the play here. He sent everybody to the right and then threw to the left.
Barkley sits in. He did a real good job of staying back there, and his man was wide open. As you see, the East Carolina defenders are almost off the screen. But they make a quick recovery, and they're coming up on the ball. Gerald Hall takes on his tackle and goes over. And now watch Charlie Carter. He comes in. He gets a good stick on him over there. But he shook himself up a little bit. He's all right. He's in the game.
1st and goal for the Bulldogs on the Pirate 8-yard line. Barkley rolling right, looking for some action. Throws it out and going to be dropped for a long loss. Vance Tingler leading the tackle. Excuse me, Tommy Summer in on the tackle. Zach Valentine. And dropped for a long loss, Jesse Clark.
Stick on that play. Barkley could have passed the ball, or he could have optioned the ball off as he did. But a little bit of indecision from him. He waited a couple of seconds before he really made up his mind what he wanted to do. And that could have caused him to lose yards on that play.
14, back to the 14-yard line now. It's 2nd and 14. They got a score. 2nd and 14. Barkley got men wide to the right, looking to the left. Picked off by Ruffin McNeil. Ruffin McNeil's got nothing but open field. If he could get a block, and he just got it. Ruffin's looking for another block and turns back in, and a sure tackle by Barkley. Eric Barkley made the tackle, picked Ruffin McNeil up. He'll cut behind. The receiver, George Pree, takes it on the 10-yard line and returns it back upfield. And you can see Ruffin looking for some blocks, and he gets a good block there. And then he's looking for another block.
Big Ruffin turned it in, trying to set up his block that time. He turned it in, trying to set up his block, but just didn't get it.
Willie Holly gave him a good block to get him about another 9 yards.
Sure did.
So East Carolina thwarts that Bulldog drive.
Well, initially, when he intercepted the ball, I thought he was going all the way.
Great play by McNeil, cutting behind Preed for the interception. Green at quarterback for the Pirates. Gives it off to Eddie Hicks, and Leander decides to keep it. And he is smothered for a long loss, and there is Artis McCann.
Mix up in the backfield for East Carolina at that time. It gave Artis McCann time to get in and make the play.
Ronnie Padgett and John Ward also in there for the Bulldogs. You know, things have not been the same on the sideline since John Wayne walked in. Everybody down there is excited.
They got a right to be.
They got a right to be. We hope that John Wayne will be able to visit us in the press box during the second half. Green now looking and rolling back, going to throw the football, throws it down the middle. Billy Ray Washington makes the catch at about the 14-yard line.
Great play by Billy Ray Washington to come across that time, Dick. Came across and really made a good play on it. East Carolina had two receivers in the area. They had Billy Ray Washington and they had Terry Gallaher in the area. Billy Ray jumps up. Terry kind of thought the ball was coming to him. You can see Terry Gallaher just in the screen there, but Billy catches it and he tucks it under, takes it down to around the 12-yard line. Billy Ray Washington from Jacksonville, North Carolina.
And Gallaher threw a super block on the next man, so had he got by that. East Carolina now first down and 10. They spotted it to 12. Vern Davenport is wide to the right. Give it off to Theodore Sutton, and he's going nowhere. Johnny Robinson's right there with him. Artis McCann is with him. And let's see, McCann is slow getting up, but I think he was just taking a break. Lynn, they're resting.
He's a tough football player.
There's a trophy, Kenny, that goes to the winning team. Of course, the Pirates hope to get that back.
And Louisiana Tech hopes to keep it here for another year. They won it last year over Louisville.
Right. Wide to the right is Gallaher. Green hands off to Sutton up the middle. Sutton breaks out of a tackle, lowers his shoulder, runs over another man, and it's finally ridden out of bounds at the 3-yard line, and what an individual effort.
Oh, Dick, he really didn't have anybody out there to help him. He got the ball, and initially that ball is supposed to go right off tackle, but Theodore didn't see anything off tackle, so he does what his natural instincts tell him to do. He cut it back across field, and at this time, all his blockers are gone because he was supposed to run the ball on the other side of the field, so he does it himself. He lowers the shoulder there. He eliminates one blocker, puts that hand down like a good running back will do, and keeps his balance and walks the sideline. How beautiful, how beautiful.
And you can see the man over to knock him out, Artis McCann. It's 3rd down and 1 for a first down. Theodore Sutton up the middle, and he gets the first down, but is short of the touchdown.
I feel like that was a pretty good gesture on the part of Coach Pat Dye at that time. Dick, Theodore got the ball that far. He got it that close on his own effort, so give him the ball. Let him try to get that touchdown.
It's a first down and goal to go at the 1-yard line. First and goal to go. Robinson, McCann, Gideon all in on the tackle for the Bulldogs. 81 Gallaher going wide to the right. LaVon James goes out to cover him on the right side. Out of the bone backfield, Sutton, Collins, and Hicks are your running backs. Give it off to AC. AC Collins goes over the top, and it's touchdown.
One of the running backs in that time, Dick, was Sam Harrell from Ahoskie, North Carolina. That was his first time around.
So Collins, AC Power, as folks refer to him in Eastern North Carolina, goes across the top. And let's, we thought we were going to be able to show you going across the top that you just take, and Kenny, you can explain that. You just dive over the top.
That's right.
Once you get that body in motion, it can't
it's
stop it.
hard to stop it.
Bill Lamb to attempt the extra point. And some confusion out on the field there.
I've got to give a lot of credit to the Independence Bowl Committee. This facility they have here at State Fairgrounds Stadium is just a lovely place to play an Independence Bowl.
Oh, they want to change the football. Pirates are #1.
Some East Carolina faithfuls all the way down from Greenville.
Bill Lamb to kick, Leander Green to hold. Well, that football didn't suit them either, so they're going to get a third football up there and see if that'll make it a little bit better.
Try to find one that fits.
Try to find one that suits everybody. Mitchell Johnson snaps. The kick is up by Bill Lamb. It is good.
Well, the football must have been all right for Bill Lamb.
It's timeout on the field with the score East Carolina 21, Louisiana Tech 0.
Wrestling fans, don't miss the super spectacular card at the Jordan Arena in Raleigh on Wednesday, December the 27th. That's Wednesday, December the 27th, featuring Mr. X #1, Joe Pilardi, Gary Young, Steve Regal, Skip Young, Jay Youngblood, Gene Anderson, Jacques Goulet. A triple main event. First, Jimmy Snuka goes after Ken Patera. Then the NWA TV title is on the line when Paul Jones puts his belt up against former partner Ricky Steamboat. Topping off the card, a fence match for the U.S. title when Ric Flair takes on Blackjack Mulligan.
Sergeant Carter runs a tight ship.
No, it's a good ship lollipop.
There's just one slow leak.
If you want to destroy me, why don't you do it the quick way? Shoot me.
There's still time to think of another way.
Carter has taught Gomer one marine maneuver, retreat.
That's what you do when another feller is stronger than you are and it's liable to beat your brains out.
Okay, East Carolina ready to kick off. And we have a young man all set to do it, Vern Davenport. East Carolina Sutton has 43 yards on 7 carries, Kenny. And taking it down deep is number 26, Ricky Johnson. And Johnson gets some holes, and he opens it up to about the 34-yard line.
Very good field position.
34-yard line.
Very good field position for Louisiana Tech this time, Dick. Very good.
Okay, we have a guest in the booth now we want to cut to right quick. Here's a young man, and I tell you what, one of the greatest singers ever, Charlie Pride. Charlie, good to have you.
Thank you, Dick. This is my 3rd year coming down doing the anthem for this bowl game, and it's sort of getting to be an annual thing every year.
Well, Charlie, this is your part of the country, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I live in Dallas, about 200 miles away, and we drove in today for this particular thing, and it seemed like it's about 21 to nothing right now. I mean, it's kind of looked like East Carolina is making a little rout of it right at the moment.
Charlie, what do you think about it? How do you like football?
I love it. I mean, you know, I live in a city with the greatest team in the world, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, so I'm just looking forward to them finishing up tomorrow, you know, taking in the Jets, and then we go on and take care of the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Charlie, if you would turn and look at the camera over there and tell everybody in Eastern North Carolina good day.
Hi, and looking forward to seeing you next year around Winston-Salem.
Okay, Charlie, thank you so much. Charlie Pride, one of the greatest now. And I tell you what, when you hear Kalijah by Charlie Pride, you've heard it all. Louisiana Tech with the ball now. Thibodeau is back in, and Thibodeau, oh, a great kick.
Scooter Sproul is one of the guys that they really think a lot of down here at Louisiana Tech, and you can see why. Thibodeau is back in the pocket, and he sits there in the pocket just like a veteran quarterback. He's still waiting, Dick. He takes the ball and passes a good spiral up the middle, and watch this catch by Scooter Sproul. He turns all the way around, outstretches his body as far as it can go, and then he's tackled by Thomas McLaurin. Dick, a good play. Good catch that time by Scooter Sproul.
I tell you, how Scooter held onto the football, I don't know.
I don't know either, Dick. He was really stretched out a long ways there.
The Bulldogs get it 1st and 10 in East Carolina territory at about the 48-yard line.
Dick, a lot of wide receivers make that look easy, but it takes a lot of concentration when you know you're going to get hit and get hit hard.
And there's a pass complete to George Free from Thibodeau. Up to make the tackle was Ruffin McNeil and Mike Brewington.
The football fans all over can see why Coach Pat Dye said that he thought this Louisiana Tech team might pass the ball 50 times a game.
Kenny, when you got receivers like Pree, Giordano, Yates, Scooter Sproul, Scott Coates, Darren Washington, and Paul Sharon, you got some guys you can throw to.
You got a lot of faith in them too, Dick. You know if you get the ball around them, they're going to catch the football, and that means a lot for the quarterback.
Johnny Giordano was wide left. Thibodeau back looking. Throws short to Yates out of the backfield.
Jeffrey Warren missed him that time, but Jeffrey don't miss many times. A good play by them. They set that little screen up real good.
You can see on instant replay that he's hitting the guy out of the backfield.
Let's try to take a look at it here, Dick. Sure, East Carolina had the rush on that time. They got a lot of men around the ball, and they snuck the little screen pass over them. Jeffrey Warren comes up. He misses his tackle. A good running back will make a defensive man miss that play like that, which he did. He got around, but he slips and he falls.
Bulldogs pick up another 1st down.
Trying to get around Charlie Carter, he slips.
Thibodeau back now, rolling, sends everybody out. Throwing deep, it's going to be touchdown. I tell you, look at this. Thibodeau takes the hit right as he releases the ball. Scooter Sproul goes down about the 15, cuts to the corner. Looks for that red flag and slips inside of it for a touchdown.
Thibodeau got the ball off just 2 seconds before Noah Clark would have smothered him.
Keith Swilly in now to attempt the extra point. Keith Swilly to hold. Sproul will hold. The spot, the kick is up by Swilly. It is good. It is good. And with the score, timeout on the field with the score, East Carolina 21, Louisiana Tech 7.
Here is perhaps the world's most unusual gift certificate. Nowell's Signature Gift Coins, minted and hallmarked exclusively for Nowell's. Each is a metallic work of art. Each comes handsomely displayed in a rich brown box or in its own suede pouch. And each is redeemable for the fine clothing that has made Nowell's famous for over half a century. The elegant alternative to a gift certificate, Nowell's Gift Coins.
When a teenager is arrested for shoplifting, she's treated like any other thief. She's fingerprinted, photographed, given a criminal record that could cost her a job, a chance to go to college, and who knows what else. Yet the worst thing may be that phone call.
Hello, Mom. Tell Dad to come get me. I've been arrested for shoplifting.
Kenny, there's no way you can hold down a receiver like Scooter Sproul, 5'11", 170. He's a senior.
Not only him, Dick, but the whole lot.
At the line of scrimmage.
Dick, East Carolina has thrown the ball a few times, and when they've thrown the ball, they've come off pretty good throwing it, and now Louisiana Tech has loosened their defensive backs and linebackers just a little bit.
Artis McCann and Ed Jackson made the stop on that one. And Jackson at 6'4", 212. He's a freshman. Stood Collins straight up in the air, and that's tough to do.
You like to have freshmen that have that much talent and are that big.
Gallaher's wide to the left, out of the bone backfield. Green rolling to the left, looking for somewhere to go, and gets away from one man and is really smacked by the second one. Coming up is Bill Snyder.
Not a bad run by Leander that time, Dick. He really didn't have anywhere to go, and he stopped completely still and just turned it straight up the field and got about 3 or 4 yards.
Third down now. And we get Gallaher into the ball game. No, they're calling Gallaher back. Vern Davenport and Billy Ray Washington are coming in.
Still, we've got 2 wideouts in the game. East Carolina has 2 wide receivers in the game.
Joe Gaudette goes out of the game. Davenport goes wide to the right. Billy Ray Washington is wide to the left. 3rd and long. Sam Harrell in motion, coming to the near side. And Sam almost got a fumble on the play, and Tech's going to recover at the East Carolina 8-yard line.
Another break for Louisiana Tech, Dick. Another big break for Louisiana Tech. The home fans love it.
East Carolina trying the old end around once again, and they fake to Collins, and he gets a good block on his man. But the pitch by Green hits Billy Ray Washington, goes right through his arms, and takes off rolling.
Right in his hands, Dick. He should have had it. It hit him right in the hands.
And David Powell back to recover that fumble on the 8-yard line, where it's 1st and goal to go for the Bulldogs.
And Thibodeau can bring Louisiana Tech back into this game with a touchdown.
Thibodeau on the keeper. Thibodeau fakes the pitch and then tucks it under and runs up in the middle. Oliver Felton making the stop for East Carolina, along with Tommy Summer, Valentine, Felton. They're all in there. So Thibodeau can not only throw, he'll tuck it up and run it.
With Thibodeau and Barkley, Dick, Louisiana Tech has 2 very, very fine quarterbacks, but this school has a tradition of putting out good quarterbacks. One of those quarterbacks is Terry Bradshaw, most valuable player with the Pittsburgh Steelers this year.
And a young man that came to Greenville and educated the Pirates many years ago. Give it off to the big fullback. And 32, George Yates, a sophomore, 6'1", 205.
That's a good side running back.
He's down to, let's see where the official going to spot the football. At about the 3-yard line, Kenny. D.T. Joyner, number 70, making the stop for East Carolina.
All year long, Dick, the East Carolina defense has really come to life when they have their backs to the wall like they are now.
Coach Maxie Lambright now sent a play into Thibodeau. Free is in motion, coming to the near side. Out of the I formation, Thibodeau fumbles, and East Carolina has has recovered.
Oh, that was caused by Fred Chambers, number 88. He came in that time and really did a good job. And we might have an instant replay, Dick. We do want it. There's Fred Chambers, number 88,
Fred
coming
Chambers
in,
hitting
and
the
he makes that
football.
play. Noah Clark, number 93, he sees the football, comes in, pounces on the football, and East Carolina has
Tucks it right
stifled
in.
a real good opportunity for Louisiana Tech.
So Noah Clark, the young man, and I know a young man in Robertsonville, Nolan Respis, smiling now. I formation. Give it off to Sutton, and he tries and gets two the hard way. And he is hit and hit hard by John Ward. John is 6'4", 235. He's a junior. It's going to be 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
Dick, also on that play was Ron Padgett, number 62. He got up off the bottom that time and came in there. He really did. Good job by him.
5:34 remaining in the half. East Carolina's on top 21-7. But the Bulldogs are hanging tough. Pitch quick to Eddie Hicks, and Hicks' feet gets out from under him. And
Eddie's about the 34th player that has slipped down in that area of the field, Dick. It must be pretty slippery down there. In the middle of the field, I went out and walked on the field in the middle of it before the game, but I didn't check the end zone corners. That was one of the places I didn't check, and it must be pretty slippery.
well, number 33, Jimmy Blackshaw, went over and asked the referee, didn't he hit the ground about the 4-yard line? And the referee said, well, let me handle where to spot the ball. But we had a heavy shower right before kickoff. It started about 1:15 and went right up to about kickoff time, and then it cleared out. And it looks like it could start at any time once again. It's going to be 3rd down and 12. Gallaher's wide to the right. Collins in motion, coming to the near side. Pitch, fake pitch. Green looking for somebody to throw to. Throws to Gallaher. Complete, 1st down, 22.
Dick, how many times this year have we seen East Carolina down deep in their own territory drop back and throw the football? And let's take a look at it. We got a real close shot on it now so we can see some of the tackling, some of the blocking. Leander Green, the East Carolina quarterback, in this close, you can feel the pressure that the quarterback has to just put out of his mind and stay in there. Leander Green is looking around. You remember, Leander's not a real big man, though. He gets the throw in on it. We're back up top now so we can see it real good. Good outcut pattern by Terry Gallaher. He came back to the football. 1st down.
1st down for the Pirates at their own 22. Gallaher's wide to the left now. Quick pitch to Anthony Collins, and Collins looking for some blocking. Can't find it. Hit hard from behind by Ronnie Padgett.
Number 8, Steve Greer is in for quarterback for East Carolina now. East Carolina, Coach Pat Dye, he has no second thoughts about playing either Leander Green or Steve Greer. He says both of them are first-team quarterbacks.
Coming in now to the quarterback is Leander. He comes back in and brings Billy Ray Washington with him, and Joe Gaudette goes out of the game.
The dynamic Jacksonville duo.
Gallaher goes wide to the right. And we're going to have a timeout. East Carolina decided to call timeout. Leander Green didn't like the defensive look that the Bulldogs gave him. It's timeout on the field with the score East Carolina 21, Louisiana Tech 7.
Be good now. Nobody knows more about the spirit of giving than I do. But when you have to pay for all of that giving, see about a Trans-South Christmas loan. You can plan your spending and have just one monthly payment. I'm the Christmas gift expert. Trans-South's the Christmas loan expert. So if you're going to play Santa, let Trans-South help.
At Trans-South, we're proud to lend you money.
Hello, I'm Frank White, and this week on the Southern Sportsman, we'll be in the South Carolina low country, quail hunting on horseback first, and later on, we'll be drifting for striped bass with live shiners as bait in Lake Moultrie at Santee Cooper. The striper, or rockfish, has put Santee on the map as a major tourist attraction in South Carolina, and he always lives up to his reputation as a game fish. Join us this week on the Southern Sportsman.
Sunday at 2 on TV5.
3:29 remaining, Kenny, in the 1st half.
I want to tell all the folks back in North Carolina, Dick, that Dick Jones, every time John Wayne comes in his presence, his eyes light up. And, folks, Dick is going to talk with John Wayne when he comes up here, and watch his eyes. I guarantee you they'll light up.
I tell you what, if you can hear my heartbeat, it'll be beating at 980 miles an hour. Because that's a legend, Kenny. Leander looking for something, and he's got something. A bunch of red jerseys that he didn't want to see. And the biggest red jersey he's got is number 51.
Tony Tatamy.
Tony Tatamy.
Tony Tatamy, sure is,
And
Dick.
Tony had a hold of Leander. Tony is 5'10", 228, a sophomore. And Leander had about 6 red jerseys around him, and he didn't know what to do.
He's built just like Artis McCann, huh?
I tell you what, Kenny, they get a lot of these ball players. 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", go 220, 225.
You know, everybody have heard us talk a lot about Artis McCann, Dick, but he was the co-defensive player of the year this year in the Southlands Conference, along with a guy named Wesley Williams from Arkansas State.
Hicks goes in motion to the right. Green hands it off on an old-fashioned draw play to Theodore Sutton, and he gets it out to the 20. East Carolina's going to have to punt the ball. Rodney Allen will come in to punt it. But, Kenny, a stat about Artis that most folks will not believe. During the season, he accounted for minus 726 yards and losses personally.
That's by sacking the quarterback and catching the runner behind the line and all that kind of stuff. That calls for a lot of effort. Dick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time that East Carolina has had the punt today, isn't it?
Oh, we've had one more.
One more.
We've had one more punt.
One more.
Rodney Allen, he'll be punting into the wind, Kenny, this time. And you can notice by the flag on the far end of the stadium that the wind is rather brisk coming in from left to right. And he's going to be kicking into quite a breeze.
I think this metropolitan area here, Shreveport, Bossier City, really you don't know when you leave Shreveport and go into Bossier City, but it's just a lovely place. Looking out across the stadium here now with the fall kind of hanging over the trees and the trees with their autumn colors is really beautiful, isn't it?
It's great. Rodney to punt it, and he keeps it a little low. Fair catch being taken for at the 48-yard line. And taking that fair catch there with Ricky Johnson. Scooter Sproul. Scooter is back in there.
Sure is, Dick. He's the regular man for them to return punts.
Well, he started on the field during the timeout, and they called him back, so evidently Coach Lambright just wanted to talk to him for a minute.
That's that scene that I was telling everybody here in Eastern North Carolina about, you know, here in southwestern Louisiana, excuse me.
And I tell you what, it is beautiful.
It's pretty. It really is.
Beautiful. Thibodeau back at quarterback. The young man that got a lot of things going. Preece to the right, Giordano is to the right. Thibodeau walking back, looks for somebody to throw to, and he hits his man. Let's see.
Perry, Wayne Perry.
What are they calling? Incompleted pass.
What a hit.
They're ruling an incompleted pass.
What a hit that time. And here it is, Dick. He comes in, Scooter Sproul. He has the football until Wayne Perry comes in and hit him, and he shakes the ball loose. What a jarring tackle, Dick. When those things happen like that, you can feel your teeth rattle together, and believe me, it's an awesome feeling. It really is.
Wayne Perry, a young man that's really 6 foot, 185. He's a sophomore.
Dick, I was saying just a while ago when Scooter Sproul really stretched out his body across the middle and made that play that it takes a lot of intestinal fortitude or just plain old guts to catch that football, because you never know when you're going to get hit like he got hit just then, and when you stretch out your body, that's giving it all you can give it.
That's Scooter Sproul's second time that he has been hit like that today.
He's going to feel it tomorrow when he gets up, too.
Well, once this game is over, there is no tomorrow because Scooter's a senior. And, of course, he's expected to be drafted high in the NFL.
Oh, he's one of the good ones, and he's going to catch a whole lot of passes for a whole lot of other people. He's a great wide receiver.
Joe Mack Johnson, the fullback, tried it up the middle there and met Tommy Summer. And Tommy Summer made the stop for the Pirates along with Vance Tingler. So he's got 3rd and long now. He's going to have to reach back and come up with something a little extra on this one. Send out wide to the right there is Pre in motion. Thibodeau rolling right. And almost completes it to John Wayne.
John Wayne is up in the stands.
It's going to be 4th down now. Charlie Carter back there with the receiver free. But it's 4th down, and Jeff Dozier. Well, Jeff Dozier comes off, and Thibodeau decides to go for it. Coach Lambright said we only have 137. So let's go and see what we can cause. And he caused a perfect pass right down the middle to Johnny Giordano. And instant replay, you can see Thibodeau drop back with all the time in the world. Still plenty of time. And if you watch, you'll see the East Carolina defender cutting across to try for the interception. The ball sails right over his head. And there's Johnny Giordano, the young man, right in there. And Willie Holly finally makes a stop. 1st and 10 at the 20. Thibodeau looking again, throws, almost intercepted. Tommy Summer a little upset at himself. Felt like he should have had that interception. 2nd down. Kenny's gone down on the field. He'll be talking with Coach Frank Orgel at halftime. Halftime presentation, of course, to the Duke, John Wayne. General Omar Bradley unable to attend today. Due to the weather, he couldn't get his plane down. Thibodeau looking once again, incomplete. Looking for Spruill, getting a lot of pressure from D.T. Joyner. Fred Chavis also in there on that rush. East Carolina faculty and some of the alumni will be flying back immediately after the game. The Pirates will be returning tomorrow afternoon. And we'll try to find out the exact time they'll be landing. So the folks that would like to go out and meet the plane will be able to do it. Thibodeau now facing a 3rd down situation. Pass is called incomplete. Said that Spruill got out of bounds, and Mr. Spruill is a little upset. He is toe up. Scooter is upset, telling the official, I was watching the yard marker, planted my feet, and slid out of bounds. Keith Swilly in now to try the field goal from the 26-yard line. It'll be a 36-yard attempt. Scooter Spruill will hold. 36-yard field goal attempt by Scooter. Holding and Swilly kicking. It is up. It is good. So Swilly gets the 36-yard field goal to make it 21-10, and we only have about 57 seconds remaining in the first half. And we pause 5 seconds for station identification.
This is your Action Sports Station, WREL-TV, Channel 5, Raleigh.
Swilly all set now to kick off. The Bulldog cheerleaders on the sidelines, they're enjoying themselves. Tech's only about 40 miles away. Quite a few of the students and the student body came over to attend this ball game. The bowl committee hoping for 24 to 25,000. Swilly to kick, Anthony Collins deep to receive. Lets it go all the way into the end zone and out of the end zone. So the Pirates will take over at the 20. East Carolina will take over at the 20. And more than likely, Coach Dye is going to be happy just to sit on this lead and go into halftime up 21-10. Halftime, a great halftime presentation today. Of course, John Wayne will be honored by the Independence Bowl, receiving the General Omar Bradley Award. And bands, drill teams, and we'll have a presentation on both schools, the Pirates and the Bulldogs. Collins in motion to the near side. Theodore Sutton with the football. Almost coughs it up. Pulls it back in. Coach Dye walking the sidelines on the far side. Bill Snyder made the stop. Coach Pat Dye over there talking with his assistants, Al Kincaid and Ken Hutchison. Give Sutton 3. Gallaher rolling, looking, picking up double coverage. Scooter Sproul on the sidelines hollering, let's call the timeout. Let's call the timeout. And a timeout is called by number 27, Zach Jones. Zach Jones called the timeout for the Bulldogs. So there's no yardage gained on that one. It'll stay 3rd and 7. Surprised at the number of fans today that came to the ball game wearing those cowboy hats because the Duke was going to be here. John Wayne came in, and everybody's wearing a cowboy hat just about, except John Wayne. And John decided not to wear his. Leander Green been over talking to Coach Dye on the far side. Dick Kupek standing right behind Coach Dye. 16 seconds remaining in the first half. Gallaher on a straight turnaround, coming back and can't get off of his knees. Gallaher slipped, couldn't get off of his knees, incomplete. So the Bulldogs' timeout strategy works. They'll get the football one more time with about 10 seconds to go. Allen to punt. Sproul is deep. And the Bulldogs are going to try to block this one. They're coming quick. And the Bulldog strategy works. A low snap from center, and Rodney Allen couldn't get the ball up to kick it. And the Bulldogs take over with about 4 seconds to go.
It is tackled at about the 23.
And the Bulldogs immediately call a timeout
With 4 seconds left in the half.
to see what's going to happen, and we're looking to see if Keith Swilly is going into the ball game, and Swilly goes into the ball game. Keith Swilly goes into the ball game. He'll be kicking from right on the 30-yard line, a 40-yard attempt. Made one earlier from a couple of yards closer in. Right through the uprights. Scooter Sproul will hold. And of course, with the Bulldogs, you got to be prepared for anything. The kick is no good. Low and under the crossbars. With 1 second left, East Carolina will take it over. Right on the spot at the 22-yard line.
East Carolina will have it. 1 second left in the half.
One second left. Leander Green will probably just take it, sit on it. And that's what he does, and that's the end. They go into the dressing rooms, head to the dressing rooms, and everybody gets ready for John Wayne's appearance on center field. That's the end of the first half of the Independence Bowl with the score East Carolina 21. Louisiana Tech 10 will return with halftime activities after these messages from your local station.
Fans, be sure to be watching this Saturday night, 11:30, right here on Channel 5 for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. You'll see filmed highlights of a match between Paul Jones and Ricky Steamboat. Then Sergeant Jacques Goulet and Chris Tolis against Paul Orndorff and Jimmy Snuka. Gary Young against Paul Jones. That'll be a TV title match. Blue Bernard and Charlie Fulton then against Tony Atlas and Blackjack Mulligan. Rudy Key against Ricky Steamboat. And Richard Blurt and Herb Gallant against John Studd and Ric Flair.
The Studs of Nature Boy, a hard team to beat, baby doll. Woo!
Jimmy and Marcia are among the children who are enjoying their first holiday season with their permanent adoptive families. Adoption gives security to a child who needs a home. The laughter and traditions of special family times are important to a child when he knows he belongs this year and next year and forever. Your gift to the Children's Home Society's Little Red Stocking Fund, as well as your gift to your local United Way, will help provide a permanent home for a child in the coming year.
How come it is that nobody listens to me around here?
How can you take a cop serious who carries a purse, boy?
Hand it for me. Hand it.
When you're in the deep south of Carter country, the whole world's a little different.
Well, we usually kiss at lunch. Well, sometimes we hold hands, but usually we kiss. Isn't that right, Baker?
They're the down-home cops from Carter country.
Saturday night at 8 on TV5.
Hi, I'm Mike Cheminsky, and I'm helping this year's Multiple Sclerosis Readathon. Kids all over North Carolina are reading books to find the cause and cure to the tragic crippler of young adults. You can help, too. Sign up for the MS Readathon at your school or library or contact the local chapter office. The 500,000 Americans with MS say thanks.
The one and only TV5.
Third annual Independence Bowl. East Carolina leading 21-10. Let's go down on the sidelines. Kenny, you have a guest.
We're down on the sideline at halftime with East Carolina defensive coach Frank Orgel. Coach Orgel, let's go back to the summertime when East Carolina really first started getting ready for the '78 season. Did you have any idea you'd be this far?
Well, we thought we were going to have a good football team, Kenny. We had some problems we needed to iron out on defense. We had replaced Randolph. We didn't know how Tommy Summer would come through. We had some problems offensively with people filling in new spots, and we really thought we were going to have an outstanding offensive team, and defensive team, we were worried about it. In the secondary, you know, we knew we were going to be better, but everybody had thrown on us last year, and we were looking for them to throw this year on us. And, you know, in the spring, you don't get an idea of your crowd because you're playing against the same folks, and you just need some stiff competition of the other people.
Early in the year, through the Western Carolina game, the North Carolina game, the North Carolina State game, East Carolina seemed to be a little sluggish. What happened?
Well, Kenny, we had some adversity early in the year with injuries. We had a lot of people hurt. We lose Eddie Hicks in the first part of the Western Carolina game, and for the next 3 games, he's not healthy. Leander Green gets hurt. We get 4 offensive linemen out. When we lose 4 offensive linemen, you know, we're down, and it's hard to replace them. We don't have the depth that a lot of people have, but we can't just afford to have a starter out.
You had a little lull about a week and a half before you started getting ready for Louisiana Tech. What did you think you had to do to come in and beat Louisiana Tech today in this Independence Bowl?
Well, we knew they had a great defense, and they like to throw the ball on offense, and any of that combination can score a lot of points and hold the other opponent down. So we were at the best physical peak we've been. The last 3 games, we got everybody healthy, and we felt good about the condition of the team. We worked hard on conditioning. We worked hard on giving some rushes to try to get to this quarterback, and we knew when we came into the ball game, moving the ball offensive was going to be a problem.
What do you tell your linebackers and defensive backs? How do they defend against a team that passes so much?
Well, we've got 3 or 4 different rushes that we're using, and they're beginning to pick some of them up. Then we got maximum coverage. We got coverage with the ends coming, the ends dropping off, linebackers going man coverage. We played more man today than we played all year.
We've tried to give them a different look every time. We've even took one of the down linemen out and put an extra defensive back in the game. You just got to try to keep them confused.
21-10 at the halftime, East Carolina leads. You think we'll see just about the same kind of play in the second
half?
Well,
I think they can come out humming that ball, trying to catch up. They've moved the ball. We've had one breakdown. They throw a long pass, completed on us, and they get a field goal, and we really played good. The best thing we're doing is we're collisioning the receivers and laying some of them on the ground, and if we can continue to do that, maybe they'll be looking for us coming rather than concentrate on the ball.
Coach Orgel, I know you got to get back in and give your players some kind of advice. Thank you very much for talking to me. I appreciate it. East Carolina linebacker coach Frank Orgel. Now let's go back up top with Dick Jones.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Frank. What's happening? Leander Green has 2 out of 3 passes for 43 yards. Thibodeau, the young man who got in the first time after a couple of stalls by the Bulldogs offense, and was hit hard the first time in by Tommy Summer, taken out of the ball game, has gotten back in, and now Thibodeau is 4 of 7 for 96 yards. And Thibodeau is a young man that can throw that football, and as Coach Orgel said, probably what you're going to see in the second half is them trying to catch up. The Bulldogs will come out. They like to go to George Pree, number 5, their flanker, the speed merchant, Scooter Sproul. Scooter catches passes in traffic. He gives up his body. He'll stretch himself out. He'll let you take any kind of shot you want at him. In fact, he's been taken off of the field twice today by the trainer, but give him a minute and a half on the sidelines, and Scooter will be right back in showing you just the kind of material he's made out of. Scooter's 5'11", 170. He's a senior. And pro scouts are here by the bunches because there's a couple of players, the men that they're excited about on both squads, and they want to see them in action and really get a breakdown on some of these seniors. And one that's really being looked at is Scooter Sproul. Scooter is the man that they think can really make it. Zach Valentine from East Carolina, of course, causing a lot of attention, and they're looking at him as a weak side linebacker in the pro ranks. All right, now we're going to take you to the campus of East Carolina University and let you have a little tour.
In Greenville, the hub of North Carolina's vast coastal plain region, is one of the South's fastest-growing universities. With an enrollment of more than 12,500 students, East Carolina University is the 3rd largest in North Carolina. Students at ECU pursue a wide variety of liberal arts and professional studies. There are 178 programs leading to undergraduate and graduate degrees. The newest major program is the ECU School of Medicine. Under the guidance of a skilled faculty recruited from all over the United States, the medical students follow a 4-year curriculum which emphasizes family medicine. Now located on the main campus, the medical school will be moved to the new medical center upon its completion in 1980. By training physicians who can tend to the special problems of rural people, East Carolina University and the School of Medicine is fulfilling its mission of providing education and service to North Carolina and her people. And now a look at Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech University, located in the beautiful pine-covered hills of North Louisiana, has a tradition of academic excellence dating to 1894. Widely known for teaching in research and engineering, Tech has a diversified academic program in its 6 colleges and graduate school as well. Over 9,000 students are now pursuing degrees from the associate through the doctorate. The modern campus offers a pleasant environment for study and leisure, and at Tech there's still personal approach and concern. Quality education, plus the spirit of tradition at Louisiana Tech. And Tech's campus stretches all the way to Rome, Italy, where for 6 weeks each summer, students and faculty live and study in Tech's own facility in the heart of the Eternal City. Tech Rome, open to anyone qualified to attend college, offers travel in Europe plus college credit at the lowest cost anywhere. To find out more, write to Louisiana Tech, Ruston, Louisiana.
Okay, we'll have more halftime activities from the Independence Bowl after these messages from your local station.
Hi, I'd like you to meet Debbie and Brad. And they're going to show you an amazing system for calculating math called Chisenbop. That's a Korean word which means finger calculation. It can turn a child's fingers into a calculator. Watch. Okay, Brad, here's your problem. 3 times 9 plus 9 minus 4. What's the answer?
32.
That's right. Now, Debbie, yours is a little more difficult. 9 times 7 plus 8 minus 5 plus 9 minus 12. And what's the answer?
63.
It's amazing. Isn't that something? It gives children an easy way to calculate math that's extremely fast and accurate, and they have fun doing it. Since it's based on our traditional math system, it doesn't confuse them. In fact, it gives them a better understanding of how our mathematical system actually works. Well, now your children can learn Chisenbop right in your own home with Chisenbop's new simplified home learning program. They'll be guided through this easy-to-understand manual step by step by your choice of either phonograph sound disc or cassette tape. And with your assistance, even preschool children can learn Chisenbop. Although it makes learning math fun, it's not a game. It's a tool that increases a child's understanding of mathematics and enables him to do rapid math calculations without a calculator. Believe me, it's a gift he will use the rest of his life. Here's how you order.
Call toll-free 1-800-228-2200. That's 1-800-228-2200. When your package arrives, pay just $12.95 plus COD postage. If you're not completely satisfied, return the package within 14 days for a full refund. That's 1-800-228-2200. 1-800-228-2200. Operators are standing by. This is a free call.
Well, Kenny, you talked about my excitement about John Wayne, about getting the chance to see the Duke yesterday. Turn to your right and look out. Up until 2 minutes ago, heavy clouds, heavy fog. It's time for John Wayne to walk out on the field. What happens?
The sun comes out, Dick. The sun comes out.
The Duke has made the sun shine.
Dick, that's saying a lot.
Well, everybody's so excited. On the field now is the Presidential Honor Guard. It's the drill team that belongs officially to the White House. They perform at all official functions. We had a chance to see them do their silent presentation last night, and it's amazing.
Dick, you know the Independence Bowl Committee has put together an impressive group all the way around. This has really been a first-class operation.
I tell you what, I've been highly, highly impressed. East Carolina, of course, D is what brought them here, and I think D is what's going to take them out of here. But East Carolina right now has held the Bulldogs to minus 16 yards rushing.
Dick, back in the first quarter, I said, do not count a passing football team out of any football game because they have the ability to score from anywhere on the field. And when you can score fast, you can get back into a football game fast.
And Thibodeau came in and started throwing that football. And after he got hit so hard, Kenny, everybody thought, you mentioned he came out holding his right arm, that he could have an arm injury. But I think what happened was he took Tommy's shoulder pad about all the way to his backbone, and he finally got breathing right again and came back in. And the young man has showed an awful lot of courage.
Remember, he was player of the year last year in the Southlands Conference. And if you got a guy that's a player of the year, he's got a lot of heart, he's got a lot of guts, and he's a winner. And when a winner gets down, he knows how to come back up and really be a winner again. That's what makes a winner. When he gets down, he doesn't stay there. He didn't start this game, but if he was the conference player of the year last year, you know he's got to be a winner, so watch out for him in the second half.
Well, I tell you, the young man is throwing the ball to Scooter Sproul. Halftime stats. We'll take a look at them, Kenny, and give the folks some idea as to basically what's going on. East Carolina, of course, is on top in the score, 21-10. And East Carolina picked up 14 points in the first quarter. Then they went with 7 points in the second quarter. And Tech added all 10 of their points in the second quarter. The presidential drill team just fired their guns, and they did that last night. And honest to goodness, everybody in the Louisiana Hayride headquarters just about came out of their seats and ran for the doors.
I can't blame them. I can't blame them at all. Those guns just made a lot of noise in this big football stadium.
Kenny, let's take a look at the replay of the first touchdown. And, of course, the first touchdown was scored by Anthony Collins.
He comes up in the middle, Dick. He gets a good shot around the 3-yard line, but a good running back will get a big surge forward, and that's what Anthony did, and he went into the end zone. First touchdown for East Carolina.
Eddie Hicks stayed with his block. Joe Gadet took the linebacker and turned him on the inside to give him that little bit of breathing room.
One thing every running back knows, every good running back knows, just like this man, Eddie Hicks. You got to have that good blocking in front of you. Eddie lowers his shoulder that time, Dick. Eddie's he's about 210. He's a strong running back, and Eddie's It is highly touted by the professional people, and he can run with the football too. But any good running back knows that it's what's up front that counts.
That's right. That
Some
was
offensive lineman.
That was a key first down situation there that the Pirates were in. And then, of course, here's the touchdown. Leander Green takes it in, and you can see Robinson grab him and just can't slow him down. He slips under one, around McCann, and goes right on in, and the official says that's good. That's a touchdown.
All the red jerseys around. A lot of red jerseys there.
That's the big touchdown. And then the next touchdown was scored by AC, Anthony Collins, and AC Power. And so far, Kenny Collins has picked up only 4 yards in 5 attempts.
You know, Dick, we were down on the sideline talking with Coach Orwell just a few minutes ago, and he made the remark that East Carolina played slow football in the beginning of the year because they had so many injuries. Well, what does injuries do for your football team? Some fans might not think it really does very much at all. But with Anthony Collins, Anthony has been playing. Here he is right now. This is Theodore Sutton going up the middle. That's Theodore Sutton. But Anthony Collins, Dick, he's been at fullback, he's been at running back, he's been all around this year. Now he's settled in at his running back position, and he can concentrate on one spot. When you have a lot of injuries, consequently, you got to move your people all around, and that makes it tough for a running back to really excel. Now Anthony is excelling.
And here's where you call going up and over the top.
This is Anthony Collins up and over. Sure is. Isn't that lovely?
And when you throw your body that high and sail over, that there's not a whole lot the defensive team can do about it.
Dick, there's been a lot of times when you get a lot of punishment going up top like that, too. Them linebackers come in and they stick you in the side with that helmet, and you really don't have a lot of control over your body when you're in the air.
Well, I tell you, the drill team is still performing out on the sidelines. And you can see the East Carolina folks across the way.
Dick, you know, we're
basking in the sunshine.
You know, we've been here two days, and this is really the first time we've seen the sunshine, huh? Dick, I was talking about that Louisiana Tech football team. Really, they were 7-4 this year. Most college teams play 11 games, but they only played 10. They were tied for the Southlands Conference Championship with Arkansas State University, but Louisiana Tech beat the Indians of Arkansas State 24-10, so they got in the Independence Bowl.
Kenny, here's Thibodeau dropping back on that first touchdown, and you can see that some of them went with the fake with Yates. Thibodeau hears the footsteps, but he still throws the ball and throws it deep, and look how wide open Mr. Spruill is.
He's a good wide receiver. Dick, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but the man right now that plays the wide receiver position for the Baltimore Colts, Roger Carr, he's a Louisiana Tech product.
Maxie Lambright taught Roger Carr, and now he's working with Scooter Spruill. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking a lot about him, the Duke, John Wayne. You know, there's so many things that you could say. But let's go down to the field for the official presentation to Mr. John Wayne.
Bust of General Bradley. The original bust will be placed at the United States Military Academy at West Point in his honor. Each year during halftime ceremonies of the Independence Bowl game, a replica of the bust will be presented to a citizen who best represents the General Omar N. Bradley Spirit of Independence Award. Here today to receive this year's award is a man who has become a living legend within his own time, a man who through both his words and his deeds personifies the American spirit, Mr. John Wayne. As General Bradley led our servicemen in the fight to preserve our independence, Mr. Wayne illustrated on the screen what they were fighting for. When at times it seemed as if things were not going well, it was John Wayne, the Duke, who boosted the morale of servicemen abroad and their loved ones at home. To millions throughout the world, John Wayne was and is the true American. A symbol of rugged individualism, a fighter for causes which are just, a firm believer that independence is not a right which is bestowed, but rather a privilege which is won. It is to Mr. John Wayne that the Independence Bowl Association and the members of the Minuteman Club proudly present the General Omar N. Bradley Spirit of Independence Award. The Minuteman Club will also present 2 $500 scholarships in honor of General Bradley and Mr. Wayne to Louisiana Tech University and to East Carolina University. To present the General Omar N. Bradley Spirit of Independence Award, we present Mr. Bill Brandon, the chairman of the Independence Bowl Association. Mr. Brandon.
It is a privilege and a true honor to introduce the presentation committee for the General Omar N. Bradley Spirit of Independence Award. First, Mr. J. Harper Cox, Jr., Chairman of the Minuteman Club. The Honorable Marvin Anding, Mayor, City of Bossier City. Mr. Charlie Pride, RCA Victor Recording Star, boss for the Independence Bowl. Lieutenant General Edgar Harris, Commanding General, 8th Air Force, Barksdale Air Force Base. Mr. Leonard Phillips, Honorary President, Shreveport Sports Foundation. The Honorable Joe D. Wagner, Jr., United States Representative, 4th Congressional District. We're very privileged to have with us Lieutenant Governor James C. Green of North Carolina. Mr. Gus Majalis, representing the Honorable Edwin Edwards, Governor of the State of Louisiana. He will now make a presentation on behalf of the Governor and people of Louisiana.
John, on behalf of the Governor of Louisiana, the Honorable Edwin Edwards, it's my distinct and honored privilege to present with you this commission, making you a general on his staff. Congratulations, General. Thank you.
We have a communique from General Omar N. Bradley, and Mrs. Bradley would like to read at this time. The Independence Bowl Association, the Minuteman Club, Mr. John Wayne, members of the Presentation Committee, and fans of the Independence Bowl. Mrs. Bradley and I deeply regret that we cannot be present today at such an important occasion. Unfortunately, inclement weather prevented us from being here to present the award to my friend and true American patriot, John Wayne. During my career of service, I've always tried to demonstrate a never-say-quit attitude. Last night and again this morning, our airplane was turned back. We even got as far as Dallas, but again we were turned back. Again, I sincerely regret and apologize that I cannot be here today. To my friend John Wayne, I salute you. I am deeply honored that you would honor me with your presence today. God bless you. In the words of another true American, patriot, and friend, I shall return. Signed, General of the Army, Omar N. Bradley and Mrs. Bradley. And now the Honorable Billy Hanna, Mayor of the City of Shreveport, will make the presentation to Mr. Wayne on behalf of General and Mrs. Bradley.
It's a real honor for me, on behalf of the citizens of the City of Shreveport, to present to the first recipient the General Omar M. Bradley Award. I can think of no person that stands for the same things that General Bradley and this country stand for than its first recipient, John Wayne. Those three things, in my opinion, represent the things that brought us where we are today, and that's courage, strength, and integrity. John Wayne, it's an honor for me to present to you the first General Omar M. Bradley Award.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, friends, I'm deeply honored by this award, but absent General Omar Bradley is the thing that brings great honor to this occasion. Thank you very much for your hospitality and your warmth to me in my stay here.
Kenny, how many men can get a standing ovation by saying Mr. Mayor?
Dick, you know, I was just thinking the same identical thing myself.
John Wayne, the Duke.
And when he said Mr. Mayor, I saw your eyes light up again.
Boy, I tell you what, you look at him, you think about the movies, you think about the legend. It's just great to be in his presence. We got some halftime stats. Kenny would like to show the folks exactly what's happening in the ball game and what's developing in the first half of action. In the halftime stats, you'll see that East Carolina is 21-10. First downs, all even at 8 apiece.
Sure is.
Yards rushing, 57 to -16. 3 passes for 45 yards for East Carolina, 9 for 149 for the Bulldogs.
Louisiana Tech is known for passing, Dick. That's what they make their bread by.
Well, Thibodeau is going to come back. Interceptions, Tech has 1. Punts, 3 apiece. Fumbles, 2 apiece.
Dick, I think we got a little mistake on the interceptions. East Carolina has 1.
Has 1, and L.A. Tech has nothing. That's right. Ruffin McNeil intercepted the big pass and almost ran it back all the way for a touchdown. And
sure did.
Kenny, the high school bands, John Wayne, everybody, what more can you say? We'll have more halftime activities from the Independence Bowl after these messages from your local station.
When you hold me in your arms so tight, you let me know.
Yes, memories come alive again.
I'm hooked on a feeling. You lost that love and feeling.
And now Hall of Music proudly presents That Love and Feeling, a memory-filled treasury with the greatest hits of the 60s. You get B.J. Thomas, the Teddy Bears, the Fleetwoods, Righteous Brothers, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Dion, remember the Impalas?
Uh-oh. I ran all the way home just to say I'm sorry.
But there's more. You'll also get Leslie Gore, Jerry and the Pacemakers, The Angels, Jimmy Jones, Nino Tempo and April Stevens, Brooklyn Bridge. Yes, all your favorites are here.
You're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Ooh, baby, I'm your handyman.
One of the great TV offers of all time, That Love and Feeling. The record treasury is yours for just $6.98, only $9.98 for tape. Get that love and feeling now.
To order, call toll-free 1-800-453-2444. That's 1-800-453-2444. Save COD postage and handling. Send $6.98 for the album, $9.98 for tape to That Love and Feeling, Box 31244, Raleigh, North Carolina. That's That Love and Feeling, Box 31244, Raleigh, or call 1-800-453-2444. 1-800-453-2444. It's a toll-free call.
Okay, with us now in the booth is the athletic director of East Carolina University, Bill Kane. And Bill, 21-10 at halftime, you're smiling.
Well, we certainly are, Dick. We got the lead right now, and we hope we can keep it.
Bill, a lot of folks made the trip down from eastern North Carolina.
Well, they did, Dick. You know, we've been talking about this for about 3 weeks now, trying to promote the game and get some interest in it. And I want to thank WITN TV for the help that they've done in televising the game back to eastern North Carolina, and certainly for the fans that made the trip down here to Shreveport and supporting East Carolina. This is what we have to move forward. And I'm just real pleased that we've had the support that we have to have.
How much a bowl game mean to college, university?
Well, we've talked about it before, but the fact is that the reception we've had down here, where the fans that came down, the players, they've been to banquets, they've been entertained, they've had a lot of things happen to them, and it's something that you have to experience before you realize what it's all about. And I know that I've been pleased with what's going on, and I'm looking forward to going to another bowl. Of course, I'm hoping we win this one first.
Bill, East Carolina's program this year 8-3. After 4 years of being the bridesmaid on bowl bids, finally got it. I think the team was excited.
Well, there's no doubt about it. I know Pat Dye and I have talked about it many times, that if we could just get into the bowl picture and then we can move forward from there. And this is the type of thing that's happened to us. And I have to give credit to he and the staff and the team for what they've done to be able to get us here.
Dick, if I can, may I ask Coach Kane a question? Coach Kane, how much work is it involved with an athletic director to go to a bowl game?
Well, I think behind the scenes, Kenny, is where we have to do our thing, and we talk to the president of the bowl, and we work with the committees, and we try to get information to these bowl people to let them know what we're all about. And being in East Carolina, of course, we're not a household name, so we had to do a lot of selling to let the people all around the country know where we are.
You say you're not a household name. What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, there's a lot of places that people would recognize the name of a particular team, and we've had, since we've been down here, for instance, people say East Carolina where or who, and I certainly feel like that we've let them know where we're from now, and they'll recognize that from now on.
Last night at the players' banquet, we had a young lady entertained with some songs, and she said, I want all of you to remember tomorrow, if you get hit by a 6'8", 280-pound quarterback, that, you know, it's just a game. And Coach Kane wanted to talk to her after the game and after the show and see if she knew any 6'8", 280-pound quarterback.
I didn't know any, Dick. I knew they weren't talking about ours.
Yeah, I know. When you look at Leander Green, you realize not.
That's right.
Bill, East Carolina, the overall athletic program is starting to bloom.
Well, this is the beginning. You know, we've had success over the years, and again, the bowl and moving forward with the interest from the fans, all this put together is what makes it go, Dick.
How about the expansion of Ficklin Stadium? The fans wonder, how many years before big-name teams start making the trip down 264?
Well, like I say, what's a big-name team? And one that's got sometimes those that don't have the name have the good teams, and we're certainly looking forward with our schedule to try to get schools in there that will be attractive to the fans for East Carolina.
How many ACC teams on the schedule next year?
Well, we've got 4 right now, 4 in the state of North Carolina, and that's a good start.
Is this the first time that East Carolina's ever played all 4 in 1 year?
Yes, it is. It really is, and we're excited about it. And again, our total schedule will probably be out in a couple of weeks.
Coach Kane, what's the chances at branching out to bring in one of our neighboring universities, University of Tennessee, down to South Carolina, bringing South Carolina into Ficklin Stadium in Greenville?
Well, the fact that you try to bring a school in, you got to get them on the schedule to begin with, and then you work from there, and you try to make it attractive as far as a guarantee is concerned. And we all like to have home games, and I know that South Carolina has 7 home games, and some of the others have a lot of home games, but you win a lot more at home than you do away, and so this is the competition we're working for, and but we'll continue to try, and I think we'll be successful.
I tell you what, Kenny, this man works behind closed doors an awful lot, and every once in a while he'll try to slip up on you and have some information that you didn't know about.
Your job really, East Carolina is really growing by leaps and bounds, and I know Coach Kane being the athletic director, got to be the really focal point behind all of that.
Well, we appreciate that, and we've got 18 sports, and it keeps you busy.
I tell you, Bill, thank you so much. You're leading right now, and it's got to make you happy.
Yeah, I'm happy about it. I hope we can take that trophy back, Dick.
Okay. Well, the second half action of the 3rd annual Independence Bowl will begin right after these messages from your local station.
More to life than 9 to 5. That's your point of view. We help you find what others miss in all the things you do. Take us with you as you go. Taste the simple pleasures. We belong together.
You and 101 FM.
People, that's what the news is all about. People, that's why we're reaching out for you.
News people, in touch with people, we make it come alive. The news people, action news people, the one and only 5.
When you turn to television for news, you naturally turn to the people you know and trust. People who've been around long enough to know you, to know what's news to you. Get your kind of news from your kind of people. The News People on Action News 5.
News people, in touch with people, we make it come alive. The news people, action news people, the one and only 5.
Both teams are prepared, and the Pirates are coming back out on the field.
Dick, you know I was talking about the really football tradition here at Louisiana Tech, and I've got some of the football players that Louisiana Tech have really produced and that are playing in the pros right now. Terry Bradshaw, he has led the Pittsburgh Steelers to one of the best records in the National Football League this year. Roger Carr, he just keeps on catching passes for the Baltimore Colts. Some say he's the best, well, the fastest wide receiver in professional football. Mike Barber, that big bruising tight end that plays for the Houston Oilers. Roland Harper scored 2 touchdowns for the Chicago Bears last week. Pat Talley, he caught 4 passes for 101 yards last week for the St. Louis Cardinals. Billy Rickman, he plays for the Atlanta Falcons. He had 3 catches for 59 yards in the National Football League last week. All these guys, they're offensive-oriented players. They come from Louisiana Tech. This school has a great tradition of producing fine football players.
Okay, we have a guy just walked in here, Lieutenant Governor Jimmy Green, and we don't necessarily have to get him on camera. We can just talk to him on the mic here. We just wanted to ask Lieutenant Governor Green. Lieutenant Governor Green, you're down in the state of Louisiana.
I sure am. Isn't it a beautiful place?
I tell you what do you think about the football game so far?
I've enjoyed it tremendously. Naturally, I would, since we're a little ahead right now. But it has been a good ball game. I thought a moment ago as I was sitting down there with John Wayne, he said, you know, we didn't hear all this knocking and cracking upstairs. He says, those boys are really hitting. I said, they really are. It sort of hurts to hear them hit that hard.
Lieutenant Governor Green, what were your thoughts sitting down there with John Wayne?
What a very great gentleman he is. I said to the mayor, I doubt if in your and my time, any person in our country has been more revered by more people than John Wayne has. He's a great gentleman.
I tell you what, Governor, thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Green, for coming down. Let's see if you could turn this way. I think we're going to try to let the folks back home know that you're here in person.
That'd be great. You know, my wife wondered if I really was coming down here. I said, indeed, I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going to look forward to that. So I'm delighted to be here on behalf of all the people in North Carolina.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. Lieutenant Governor Jimmy Green.
And we've had the kickoff, and the ball went all the way through the end zone, Dick. A big kick for them. Of course, it was kicked in the wind also.
That's right, Keith Swilley. The young man got quite a leg on him and got quite a reputation as a kicker. East Carolina will take it over now at their own 20, and they get first possession in the second half. And, of course, I know Coach Dye has talked to him quite a bit.
You know he has. Going in the locker room, the guys go in the locker room. They try to find out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and get everything going in the second half.
Started off with Sutton.
Started off very much like he started off the game, with Sutton up the middle.
Ronnie Patchett, number 62, makes the initial hit. He'll get 1, maybe 2.
Dick, you know some of the folks that some people don't mention, that's Rod Compton, Dr. Bowman, and their sports medicine crew for East Carolina. They are real busy during the halftime. They go into halftime, and they check all the injured football players that were, you know, kind of injured before the game. The ankles they had to tape up, the ribs they had to wrap, and they're very busy during the halftime, making sure everybody's going to be ready for the second half. Something we've never seen before. Sam Harrell goes in a different formation.
And Hicks comes in motion, and I think it's too much time.
A little too much time. Dick, you know what? Now, East Carolina started off that play in a wishbone set. Okay, Sam Harrell moves back, takes 2 steps back like a running back. Eddie Hicks goes in motion, and all of a sudden, East Carolina's playing out of a pro set I formation. We haven't seen that this year. That's an independent bowl wrinkle for East Carolina.
So they get the 5-yard penalty, and that makes it 2nd and 14.
We just had flashed on a sign says, "Hey, Duke, watch ECU pound the dogs." Here we go again, Dick, that same formation.
Leander Green keeps on the play, and Larry Gideon rides him out, makes a tackle.
During the halftime interview, Coach Orgel said that Louisiana Tech was beginning to pick up with some of the different things that they were putting in and some of their wrinkles. And East Carolina's doing a few more. Evidently, they had a few more ready for halftime, and they put them in.
Well, I tell you, I think you're going to see East Carolina switch back now maybe to a basic, 11-game game plan.
Yeah, I would think so.
They have the lead, and see if they can hold on to it. Washington is wide left. And too far. Billy Ray, who is noted for his spectacular circus catches during a ball game, had one already today, just a little high over his head.
Good, that one was a little high, Dick, because the defensive back was coming across the field, and he might have got that one had it been on target.
So Rodney Allen will be punting into a heavy wind right now. Rodney facing it, Scooter Sproul standing back on his own 45-yard line.
He'll be lucky if he gets a real good front off.
They're looking for a return, so they put men back. And instead, the ball is going to be down at about the 43-yard line.
He got a good bounce. Good luck. Got a good bounce that time.
So Thibodeau comes back in now. And, Kenny, there's no doubt in anybody's mind in the stadium exactly what Thibodeau is going to be doing.
He's going to put the ball in the air.
He's going to put the ball in the air. And he has got a wide choice of receivers in George Pree, Johnny Giordano, George Yates, Scott Coates, Scooter Sproul, Darren Washington. And they're in the power I now.
They've switched again. Now East Carolina switched their offensive set. Louisiana Tech switched their offensive set.
And George Yates runs the football.
Picked up about 6 yards too, Dick. A good pickup on that play.
Ruffin McNeil came up to make the stop.
Ruffin McNeil is a strong safety who in all actuality is just another name for a defensive back. And here's that play, Dick. The running back gets the ball, and he's going to turn it up inside. George Yates. Fred Chavez really does a good job of coming around the block and slowing him up a little bit, but Yates slides behind him and gets around.
So they show you that I formation once again. And Brian Lewiston in now runs the football. And Kenny, I hate to mention it because I know you're going to get a big laugh out of it. But exactly 90 seconds after the presentation to John Wayne,
the sun
it
goes
clouded
in.
up again.
The sun goes in.
It clouded up again. The lights are back on in the stadium. But during the halftime, complete sunshine while John Wayne was on the football
Dick,
field.
are you trying to tell me that John Wayne was responsible for that?
No, sir. But it does make you wonder if the man up there is helping him a little bit. Thibodeau's got 5 receivers out.
Good screen for him. Good screen.
Goes with the offensive back. And there's flags all over the place. And East Carolina going to be penalized for a late hit.
I think that was D.T. Joyner that time that came in with the late hit. Dick, I don't really think he meant it, but that's not what counts. He did it.
Personal foul, and that's going to add 15 on more to that reception. And on that play, he sent all these wide receivers down deep and then brought Brian Lewiston out of the backfield for that little simple screen.
Dick, if you can call passing the football in a conservative way, that's what Louisiana Tech is doing right now. They're going with their outside running plays and screens and mixing it up, and they're trying to sustain this drive, and they brought it from inside the 45 all the way down. Take a look at that pretty set and showed out over Shreveport, Louisiana. It was just on the screen. A beautiful look out there.
Giordano is wide to the right. Sproul is left. Chavis grabs hold of the running back, Brian Lewinston. East Carolina trying to move their defenses around a little bit, Kenny. John Hallow and Oliver Felton, the nose guards,
They're
are
trying
trying to move off the center.
Trying to confuse Louisiana Tech.
Oliver Felton in at nose guard now.
Some pretty nice looking uniforms that Louisiana Tech team has.
2nd and 4. And you can see there that George Yates turns it to the inside, and Zach Valentine grabbed a hold of him first.
Zach Valentine came down from his defensive end position and wiped him out.
Oliver Felton in to sort of help put it away. On the 20 now, and it's 3rd and 2.
East Carolina defense holding hands, calling their defensive signal. That holding hands is for unity. They're saying we are one bunch. We play together.
Tingler now moves wide to the left, trying to offset their blocking pattern. And boy, but what a block. What a block by number 32, George Yates. As Jesse Clark, the fullback, got the first down. Brewington and Gerald Hall a little upset that they weren't able to get him at the line of scrimmage. So the Bulldogs have it 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Good running in there by George Yates that time. Dick, he's 6'1", 190 pounds from Baton Rouge.
They're working exclusively out of the eye now with men split wide left and right. And they've started going up the middle with their running backs.
They're running the football now, hey.
Jesse Clark. And Clark gets a couple.
That's a big change.
Valentine. And on the stop, and Zach, number 89 out of Edenton, North Carolina, senior, trying to get everybody inspired. Zach is 6'3", 212, a senior. Spoke yesterday in Shreveport at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet.
Zach has been very, he's worked a lot in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Very active, very active.
On the far sideline, Coach Adai and his entire staff are yelling encouragement to the Pirate defensive unit. They get down under there, and once again, they go with Yates. And there's Vance Tingler getting up off of the bottom with help in there.
Dick, if you notice in the first half of the football game, East Carolina got the ball in good field position. They kept Louisiana Tech back in the hole. But this time, when you start off the second half, you start off a little more even. Louisiana Tech is working with the football and doing a good job at it.
They switched completely now to the I formation, Kenny, by putting the up man in motion. And Pre goes in motion, and Thibodeau flips back, and man, it gets away from the running back, and he's going to lose some yardage all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Good individual effort by him, though, Dick, to pick up the football and try to get a few yards. Here we go, Dick, in slow motion. The quarterback was hit when he was picking up the foot, when he was trying to pitch out the football. And it caused a bad pitch, but the running back gets back, he picks the ball up, and doing a pretty good job at handling. Ron Bersano. And he's trying to do the best he can to pick up as much yardage as he can.
Keith Swilly now is going to attempt another field goal, this one from about the 27, so it'll be a 37-yard attempt. The spot, the kick, Swilly's kick is good. So Keith Swilly adds it to it. And I tell you what, nothing wrong with that. It's time out on the field with a score East Carolina 21, Louisiana Tech 13.
When it comes to music in every format, in every flavor, the Record Bar has it. Rock, pop, country, classical, soul, and jazz. On 45s, albums, or tapes. And every pre-recorded tape carries the Record Bar 1-year guarantee. Ask about it. The Record Bar. Music for every taste. Doesn't that sound delicious?
It's easy to cheer for the world champion Dallas Cowboys because they're winners. But it's easier to make a deal at Tony Hammock Ford Mercury, where you're always a winner too.
Especially right now during Tony Hammock's $500,000 inventory reduction sale. $500,000 worth of new cars and trucks must be sold, will be sold by January. That means you'll get the low price you've waited for, and now until Christmas, you'll get a free bicycle with the purchase of any new car or truck at Tony Hammock Ford Mercury in Zebulon.
Keith Swilly all set to kick off, and Kenny, he was good from 36 yards in the first half, and he's good from 37 yards in the second half.
I think that means that he can kick the ball pretty good is what it means.
Swilly kicking deep now to Anthony Collins. And Collins says, no, I ain't even going to fool with it. Downs it in the end zone.
Take the third quarter, and Louisiana Tech is a passing football team, has the wind at their back, which is an advantage for them. In the fourth quarter, when East Carolina says they play their best football, Coach Pat Dye says East Carolina should win it in the fourth quarter. He takes pride in his football players in the fourth quarter. And Louisiana Tech will be at a disadvantage in the fourth quarter. They'll have the winds in their face.
Well, coming out now, the Pirates, let's see if they give us that new look, Kenny, or they go straight back to the bone. They went straight to the bone with Washington wide left. Green, a long count. And he gives it off to Theodore Sutton, and Sutton finds some running room up the middle, and he gets it out to the 35-yard line.
Theodore Sutton's feet wasn't even on the ground, and he was still pedaling like he was trying to go somewhere.
It's a quick opener, and you can see the key blocks in there.
Mitchell Smith, number 77, making one block. Theodore Sutton
Jeff
moving on
Higgins,
in the
the
inside.
center, pulling to the other side. And Matt Mulholland running along out front.
Joe Gaudette down in the bottom making another block. He's a tight end, but he doesn't catch the ball very much. He's a darn good blocker, though.
First down at the 35 after that quick opener to Sutton. Green dropping straight back, looking for receiver, throws deep, and ooh!
Right off the fingertips of Terry Gallaher.
Gallaher misses it right at the 15-yard line.
Dick, that pass maybe could have been complete. Leander Green sits back in the pocket, gives it everything he gets. He heaves it out, a long pass. It could have been complete. There was room to put it in over the defensive back. He was beat by about 3 yards, but just a little bit over his fingertips.
Second down and 10 now.
Terry Gallaher. He's pretty fast, too, Dick. Runs about a 4.5 40.
Billy Ray Washington's wide left now. Green on a misdirection play, faked the handoff to Sutton up the middle, and Leander, although he's not a big guy, at 5'8", 170, just keeps pulling folks down the field.
I think Leander saw that first down stripe, and he was trying to make that first down, and he made it.
Leander Green out of Jacksonville. He's 5'10", 170. He's a junior. And Gallaher talking with him now.
You know, being a junior, Leander Green being a junior, gives Coach Pat Dye another year to train himself for another quarterback coming through, and it puts Coach Pat Dye in a pretty good situation.
Two wideouts now. Washington's to the left. Gallaher's at the top of your screen. Long count. East Carolina going with a long count, trying to hold Artis McCann. And Gallaher takes it, but he takes a stab right in the back.
Sure does, but he makes that reception. He's a veteran wide receiver, Dick, and a veteran wide receiver should know where the sidelines are. And that time, Terry Gallaher went to the sidelines. He hooked up on the sidelines and made a good reception. Joe Gaudette coming back in the football game, number 84.
They picked up 8.
Number 84 in your playbook, number 1 in your heart. He's a good fellow.
Out of Rose High in Greenville, North
That's
Carolina.
right, a home brew.
And the sun comes back out again. Part of the stadium bask in sunshine, and there's that quick opener to Theodore Sutton, and Sutton's got running room. He's at the 10. He'll take it all the way in for the touchdown.
Big water run by Theodore Sutton that time. He is some running back. He's leading East Carolina right now. He's leading East Carolina in rushing for the day, and he led East Carolina in rushing for the year. Theodore Sutton, it's an option play, and the lineman tried to come inside, so that means the fullback gets the football. Theodore Sutton, the hole was there, good blocking, and he does one thing on his own. A running back, a good running back, will not get tackled one-on-one in the open field, and Theodore Sutton did not get tackled. Billy Ray Washington
Look at that block.
Coming over and making a life-saving block for him, and East Carolina gets 6 more points.
And I'm not even going to show this stat until after this thing is over. Bill Lamb set to kick. It's up. It is good. It is good. It's time out on the field with the score East Carolina 28, Louisiana Tech 13.
What makes one cassette better than another? TDK AD sounds better because it has a hotter high end than any cassette in its class, and you need all those highs to bring your music to life. AD requires no special bias adjustment, so you can use it in your car, in your portable, or at home. AD's backed by a full lifetime warranty, and it's sensibly priced. So next time you buy cassettes, look for the tape that sounds better. TDK AD, the tape with the hot high end.
Available at Southeastern Radio, 414 Hillsborough Street, Raleigh.
North Carolina 4-H is growing. For the club nearest you, call this toll-free number.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this game is being beamed back.
Now we got a stat I think is going to really surprise you. On 13 carries, Theodore Sutton has 114 yards.
And for all the folks that are listening to this football game, Dick Jones got that statistic from our booth manager up here, and he wouldn't even let me see it.
The kick down to about the 20-yard line, taken there by Zach Jones. The kick from Rodney Allen.
Dick, you know, I was over in Kinston talking with the Kinston High School football coach. His name is Sam Green, and he coached Theodore Sutton in high school. He said Theodore was one of his best raw athletes that he had over there. He said he knew that Theodore was going to be a good football player, and he knows good football.
Tell you what, after that amazing show of speed, I think everybody was surprised that in the Independence Bowl that's not familiar with Theodore Sutton, the amount of speed that young man has.
He runs a 4.3, and folks, that's just a couple of steps off Bob Hayes when he was in his prime.
Thibodeau looking, and all the receivers are covered, and Hallow misses him.
Ooh.
But Tommy Summer and Jeffrey Warren especially doesn't miss him.
Boy, did Thibodeau get hit pretty hard on the sideline that time, Dick, and he's not getting up.
Jeffrey Warren.
What a defensive hit.
The young man came up, and the young man, it wasn't even going to East Carolina, and we'll show you the hit.
Jeffrey Warren from Snow Hill and
you see
Greene
John Hallow
County.
miss it.
And he comes over, and boy, look at that. Does he hit him? Dick, talking about rattling your brains, did he hit him that time?
I had lunch with Jeffrey Warren about a week ago, and he and I talked about linebacking. And he said, Dick, honestly, I love to hit people. He said, I just want to prove to everybody. And we might say that Jeffrey is 5'10", 204 pounds, and I think they weigh him in his uniform and fishing sinkers in his pocket and everything else. But Jeffrey says, I just naturally love to hit people. But he was scheduled to go to Elon. And then he was voted the most valuable defensive player in the boys' home game and decided to play at East Carolina.
Dick, I don't want to meet Jeffrey Warren, although you say he's not for 5'10", 205 pounds or 4 pounds. I don't want to meet him in a dark alley when he's not feeling very well.
Jeffrey is one of the nicest people that you'll ever get to spend any time with. He is quite a young man, an inspiration to everyone, and he says, I just want to show young people, and Keith Thibodeau being helped down to the bench now.
I hope he's all right.
I do too, and I hope he gets back in there shortly.
He sure has added a lot to this Independence Bowl today.
Eric Barkley, the freshman, is back in now at quarterback and got everybody heading down to the sidelines, and no way. Out of the arms as good as Sproul.
In all fairness to Barkley, Dick, it's tough coming off the bench, and you don't know you're going in the game, so you're just standing there, and you're not warm, your arm is still a little bit cold, and you got to come in and throw on the first down. It's tough on the freshman.
Getting into the ball game now, bringing the play in, and Ruffin McNeil goes out of the game for East Carolina.
McLaurin back in the game. East Carolina has played a lot of people today.
Thomas McLaurin back in now, taking that cornerback spot, and a sack by Zach.
I knew it was about time for you to say that and about time for Zach to get a sack.
And Zach got a sack. Zach Valentine, a young man from Edenton, North Carolina, that I can proudly say I spent a lot of time with. And this young man, and I tell you what, highly respected in the state of North Carolina. The punt by Jeff Dozier drives, Gerald Hall all the way back to the 10-yard line, and Gerald's just going to let it roll dead. And a punt from the 19-yard line to East Carolina's 10-yard line.
What a punt that was, Dick. What a punt it is.
Jeff Dozier, the young man doing the punting, a 70-yard punt officially.
That's a long ways. That's a long ways.
Jeff Dozier, number 10, handles the punting duties for the Bulldogs, and we're looking down on the bench at Thibodeau. The trainers are still working with him and talking with him.
Dick, a lot of coaches say that your punter is one of the biggest offensive weapons that you have, and if the fans can see, Louisiana Tech was back in deep in their own territory. Now with just one punt and 70 yards, they got East Carolina way back in their own territory.
Carrying the football was Eddie Hicks, and Hicks couldn't find anything. He got a couple. On the far side, man, the kids are enjoying this ball game.
Yeah, they sure are, aren't they, Dick?
They love a football game, and you can see the wind that is coming into play in the punts. And of course, you got to say that Dozier had the wind behind him on that punt.
This stadium holds about 50,000 people, Dick. A big football stadium, a nice complex.
Well, we haven't heard any estimates on the official attendance yet, but I would say it's somewhere around 20 to 25. And that's what they were hoping for. Cal Rockefeller, the young man of the Independence Bowl Committee we've been working with, said around 20 to 25 would be an excellent crowd. Leander Green on the quarterback keeper, cuts across the green, gets some running room outside.
I think Leander Green has a lot of speed, and he showed that speed that he has that time, too.
Well, you got to give credit to LeVon James, the young man on the pursuit.
For coming up and doing a good
6
job.
foot, 187-pound, a junior.
Here he is. He sees that lane right between all those red jerseys there, and Leander makes a good cut back. Mitchell Smith, number 77, coming across the middle there.
There's your classic example of your tearaway jersey, 33, and Johnny Robinson ended up with hands full of jersey instead of Leander Green.
That's why Coach Dye used him so much.
Steve Greer in a quarterback, and Steve and Theodore Sutton Anthony Collins run together.
I think the East Carolina jersey has Independence Bowl written across the back. Good souvenir for the players, you know.
Jimmy Blackshire made the stop on Collins. Jimmy at 6'2", 227. He's a junior. Ground level camera there, showing you what it looks like with that bright sunshine out there. Looking from behind East Carolina.
The sunshine is in and out. When it comes out, it's real bright. The clouds are low, but they're not real thick.
Eddie Hicks stopped up once again. And you see Big John Ward, 6'4", 235, a junior. Kenny, I think Thibodeau now is feeling a lot better, and he started talking to different ball players down on the end of the bench. And you can see the sign there said the Beast of the East.
That's what East Carolina calls themselves, the Beast from the East.
And we used to have the Wild Dogs, and now we got the Swarm. And going absolutely nowhere on a third down key situation, going for the couple of yards. And that was Theodore Sutton carrying the football. And it's going to be 4th and about 1, and the Pirates, Collins begging Coach Dye to let them go for it.
Dick, you know, I mentioned a while ago that we were in the Southwestern. He dropped back, and the linebackers are really pass shy now, and they're leaving that inside open. And of course, East Carolina running their young players out there now. Bill Pinckney, number 30, they're coming up in. Fred Chavis is still in the game, number 88. And Dick Jones is there, if you can see him right there, and I guess you can.
Yes, sir. We're checking out
some
of the stats here, Kenny, and we see that Theodore Sutton just might own a record.
He just might, Dick.
142 yards plus, and rushes, 17 rushes. That was held by Terry McFarland of McNeese State. Pass outside is incomplete. Complete. Young man got his feet down. And Kenny, you know, East Carolina salutes what they call the king of the gridiron every ball game. And saluting the king of the gridiron on offense is, of course, Theodore Sutton with 140 yards plus rushing. And the defensive unit, the entire defensive swarm, has been voted the defensive player of the game. All young men on defense, because they have just done a magnificent job. Barkley completes one over the middle.
They sure have, Dick. They played very good football throughout this whole game.
But the king of the gridiron goes to, on offense, goes to Theodore Sutton. On defense, the entire ball club. The entire defensive unit. And what more could you ask for?
Louisiana Tech rattles off another first down.
1:55 remaining in the ball game, 35-13. East Carolina in the lead. Barkley going back, looking, throwing, complete.
Barkley passes complete to Johnny Giordano.
Johnny Giordano, the young man, out taking it, and he gets up limping.
Another first down.
But Barkley has done quite a yard, quite a job coming in and starting the game, getting hurt, and then going out of the game, and coming back and having to take over when Thibodeau was knocked out by Jeffrey Warren.
Tech wants desperately to get in the end zone one more time, Dick. They just want to score again.
Well, East Carolina, if they can hold this one, they'll set a new record for the fewest points allowed. The record is 14 points by this same ball club right here, the Bulldogs. Last year, they allowed 14. East Carolina now has allowed only 13. But, of course, Eric Barkley has other thoughts.
He sure does, Dick, and he's trying hard right now to get his team in the end zone.
Pass is incomplete.
Dick,
intended for Free.
That time, Barkley had it open. He could have tucked the ball under and ran in the end zone easily that time, but he chose to throw. And this is the beast from the east right here that you're looking at. A couple of Pirate fans drew it up.
The beast of the east.
With their Channel 7 logos in the corner.
That's right. Got a little Television 7 logo up there.
Sure do, in both corners.
We appreciate that so much, those fine folks from East Carolina University. Almost picked off by the Pirates. Intended for George Free.
That was Bill Pinckney that made that diving attempt that time, Dick.
It's going to be fourth down now, Kenny, and if the Pirates hold this, they'll set a couple of records. Fewest points allowed, and best defensive job in the Young Independence Bowl, third year. And talking with the folks in the Independence Bowl, they're having a meeting tomorrow afternoon to start planning for the fourth annual Independence Bowl.
I think that's real early, isn't it?
I tell you what, they talk about how much work it is. Barkley throwing, pass is intercepted by East Carolina. Brewington makes the interception. Mike Brewington. And Big Mike goes up and pulls it down in the end zone, and that's going to be it, folks. East Carolina takes it over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with about a minute 18 left.
Mike Brewington was awfully happy about that. He even fell down, jumping up and down, running off the football field.
Well, I tell you, that young man did quite a job. Mike Brewington played well all day at that linebacker slot. Henry Trevathan in at quarterback, and he pitches back, Kenny, and the ball takes an ideal East Carolina bounce.
It sure does, Dick.
Number 45 for East Carolina. Kenny, we got to look that number up.
Number 17 is the East Carolina quarterback. Pitches back, Marvin Cobb.
Marvin Cobb.
From Raleigh, North Carolina.
From Raleigh, North Carolina. Roy Wiley's in at fullback. And let's see, there's a flag on the play, and I think there's going to be a delay, too much time.
Henry Trevathan, number 17, and a quarterback for East Carolina now.
It's going to be a delay on the Pirates, a minute and 11.
Vern Davenport, number 5, is in the football game now.
Kenny, we got to thank once again all the folks, Coach Pat Dye, Bill Kane, the athletic director.
Oh, true, Dick. That's
everybody. Walt Atkins, and for the Bulldogs of Louisiana Tech, Coach Maxie Lambright, who's not only the coach, is also the AD, and his SID Keith Prince, Cal Rockefeller, the Independence Bowl Committee. Everybody has just been magnificent. 25, Sam Harrell with the football. The clock keeps running down now.
Number 80, Perry Aldridge, is in the game now for Joe Gadet at tight end, Dick.
Perry Aldridge out of High Point, North Carolina. Perry out of High Point, North Carolina.
Third down and long. We'll have a timeout, Louisiana Tech.
Okay, down on the field now, Kenny. I think they're using the field camera to take us up here in the booth, because I tell you what, we're situated high above the stadium in one of the nicest facilities that I've ever had the opportunity to work in.
It sure is, Dick.
I don't know how you could ask for a facility any better or people cooperate any more than the stadium facility, the State Fairgrounds Stadium Committee at Shreveport. It has just been absolutely magnificent.
Sure has, Dick. And those stands were pretty full at one time. They're empty now as this game winds down. Only about 47 seconds left to play.
They had, I think they had better than their 22 to 23,000.
I think so, too. I really do.
I think the attendance was somewhere around 25,000. Of course, East Carolina now just worried about running out that last 47 seconds. Henry Trevathan is operating the team at quarterback. Theodore Sutton is the most valuable offensive player for the Pirates. Terry Gallaher on that end around, and Gallaher isn't going to go anywhere.
He's trapped back around the 2-yard line.
Trevathan pitches back to Terry Gallaher, number 81, on the reverse.
And Gallaher just gets stopped immediately.
67 makes the stop.
Dick, this will be only in 11 bowl games that Louisiana Tech has played. This will be only their second loss.
I tell you what, you got to give the Bulldogs, Coach Maxie Lambright, credit. East Carolina came in. They did a lot of things that the Bulldogs weren't expecting. They did some things that the Bulldogs were expecting.
They did a lot of
and
things
still got away with it. Rodney Allen back to punt. They got the men up there. And there's Coach Pat Dye being carried on the shoulder of his teammates. And Eddie Hicks is there. Tommy Summers there. Everybody's there. East Carolina wins their bowl bid. 35-13. I tell you what, it was an exciting football game. Congratulations to Coach Pat Dye, his entire staff. Thanks to everybody for all the cooperation. Thanks to the stations for joining us. I tell you what, we had so many folks that worked long and hard hours to get this broadcast on the air and make it possible. Producer Paul Lawton, director Steve McNeil, graphics Mark Burnett, Donna Lipock, Don Fan, Carol Evans, John Radcliffe, Kenny Reddick, Howard Beasley, Ron Thomas worked with us up here, Paul White, Henry Woods. You can't say enough about these great folks. And of course, East Carolina in the middle of the field now to accept the Independence Bowl trophy, the 3rd annual Independence Bowl trophy. Today's telecast of the 3rd annual Independence Bowl has been brought to you by